We should be live. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Ian and Kyle Play Versus System Incorrectly, or FixTheChat.com. Kicking off a little early tonight. Kyle has been working from home a lot lately, so that has facilitated us being able to
be timely.
Well, we're quite a bit early today. We're quite a bit early as we were last time. So
timely plus.
Timely plus. Lots to discuss this week. We were off last week. The reason for that is I've actually joined a Dungeons & Dragons campaign that meets on Fridays. So Kyle and I, Kyle's throwing crumbs all over his table.
It's worth it.
Kyle and I will now be streaming for an indefinite amount of time every other Friday as best we can instead of every Friday, which, with some exception, kind of fit our schedule better anyway. Like, we have about a 50% success rate. Now it will just be more predictably a 50% success rate. So apologies about that, folks, but I'm really into this D&D game. I've been trying to get into one for many years, and I'm having a lot of fun. You know, it's early, but making my character and writing my backstory and stuff. I've been really jonesing this kind of creative outlet. Where are you going with those cookies? No, you don't get to take the
cookies back.
Bring the cookies back.
Not bringing the crumbs.
All right.
I wouldn't deprive you of the option, especially since you provided them originally.
Oh, those are my cookies?
I think so, yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah.
I will have my cookies.
You will have your cookies.
Video game-wise...
hold on, I want to talk about cookies for one moment.
You want to talk about cookies? Okay.
Just for one moment.
Cookie-wise, take it away, Kyle.
So it's really a question, actually. Have you ever heard of Thin Mints referred to as grasshopper cookies? Or a similar cookie of that
I've
name?
heard the term grasshopper cookies, but not specifically. I don't specifically know what it is.
Okay.
Or it was necessarily.
I asked because in thinking back, like I referenced them as grasshopper cookies the other day to Rachel, and she was horrified and baffled at the notion of insect-flavored cookies, and I explained that they were a Thin Mint style cookie. And had I been thinking about that for more than 2 or 3 additional seconds, I would have Googled it, but I didn't, and so I just thought of it again when you started munching, and I'm thinking, well, you know, I wonder if that's a regional thing or an East Coast thing, or...
That's funny because Rachel's not dumb.
That's true. She is not. Yeah. Anyway, just wondering if you were familiar with that or not. That term.
Yeah, again, I've heard it, but I actually don't like mint a whole lot, so that might be why I don't know what kind of cookie that is.
You do enjoy Thin Mints, though.
No. I like chocolate, though.
There's a lot of chocolate in Thin Mints. In terms of like a chocolate cookie that is a prepackaged cookie, they deliver a pretty decent amount of chocolate.
I know that Thin Mints are a popular Girl Scout cookie. That's why I picked the Thin Mints. In addition to the ones, my faves are the
Samoas?
Samoas, yeah, I think that's what they're called. The caramel, chocolate caramel,
coconut. Yeah, those are good. Those are real cookies. Good. Very good cookie.
And they seem to have gotten extra caramelly over the years. They were literally leaking gooey caramel.
Yeah,
this year.
They've upped the caramel quantity.
So video game wise, I don't remember when we last streamed where I was. I think I had already finished Titan Quest. But in case I didn't talk about that, I had finished Titan Quest.
Yes.
And I may have said either I was planning to start playing Slay the Spire. I think that's right. I think maybe our last stream...
You might have been just starting to be infatuated with it. I feel like you had just started your infatuation with it.
And sadly, I'm demonstrating that I'm a little bit behind on our uploads again.
Yeah.
Which is totally my fault, and I ask the people watching at home to bear with me because I'm having a little insomnia lately. Yeah. So I'm running pretty slow tonight, and have been for quite a while.
Good fodder for short-term comedy
streams, I'm sure it'll be entertaining and all that jazz.
But definitely less good for living.
But yeah, I started and then obsessively played Slay the Spire for I think it was 3 weeks, so you might be right. I might have already been playing when we had last streamed, but somehow I feel like that's wrong.
Sure.
Nevertheless, I played the crap out of the game and enjoyed it quite a bit. It's an early access roguelike, dungeon crawl, but it's
Deck
a
builder.
deck builder.
Mhm.
Yeah, and I think it's very well done. I mean, it's clearly an early access game. There's some things that are a little
rough around the edges.
Content
Content light in some areas.
But solid mechanics and highly recommended. And Kyle is the first guy, despite me singing the praises of this game to literally everybody I meet.
Yeah.
Kyle's the first person I actually got to also play this game.
Yeah, no, and it is worth it. It's very interesting. I don't think... So I haven't quite completed Titan Quest, and we should talk about that a little bit in a moment, but... I feel like it's a good game for playing, not for small chunks of time, as we talked about, but not in like an hour, not in terms of session length. That's what I'm looking for.
Right.
But in terms of like,
you can kind of get in and out.
Yeah.
You don't need to stay in it. Although one of the reasons I was obsessed with it is it does excel at the quality of having that. Ooh, just one more try.
Right,
like that
right.
almost went the
If
way
I
I
roll
wanted.
that a
I
little
should
differently, or-
jump right back in and do
Yeah.
this again, and
Try
then
this
suddenly
differently,
it's
yeah.
Tuesday.
and
Right.
suddenly it's Tuesday. That's right. That's right.
Regardless of what day you started.
Yeah, especially if it's Wednesday. The no, it definitely, like, I did feel that, like, it was funny because I finished the first match and I've only played one session.
This is very impressive, by the way. My assessment. So the game right now in early access has two character classes, and the character classes sort of determine they have innate abilities that are custom each character class, and the vast majority of cards are custom to the character class, but there are some generic cards that either character can use.
Right.
And there's a sort of a warrior type character that's the intro class.
I think it's actually called, is it called Warrior?
No, it's called the Ironclad.
Oh,
I
the
think.
Ironclad. Okay, sure.
And once you play a session with that, it unlocks the other class, which is a roguelike character called the Silent, I think is the right word for that.
Interesting. Haven't tried that one yet, so can't speak.
And my experience is that this Silent is much easier to make a successful run with. Like, my early experience was, of a couple of games, the majority of them I completed successfully with the Silent, and I really struggled and never completed a game with the Ironclad, the warrior
At least
class.
initially. You got to a point where you were able to do that.
I probably played a dozen games in the Ironclad before I finished it. I'm not sure if it's that much.
Sure.
Some,
Well, let's
number,
even say,
more than a few.
Yeah.
So
At least in several territories.
I am astonished, A, that Kyle completed the game on his first play, and B, that he did so with what I consider the more difficult class to do so with.
Yeah, there is actually... I had a couple of advantages going in. I had seen Ian play the game once with that class.
Sure.
So I had a general sense of what was at my disposal. And obviously it's a roguelike. There's a lot of content that I didn't see and got to experience, but I still had a general sense. So that's part of it. It did occur to me also that it's possible the class scales better with unlocks. And due to an odd synchronization issue between accounts, when I logged in, I had Ian's unlocked content. It doesn't necessarily mean it's more powerful, but it's possible that it is more important for the Ironclad class.
I definitely think some of the later Ironclad cards that you unlock are crucial.
Right.
Are super important to a successful build. Which isn't to say that you can't finish the game with the earlier cards, but they're definitely
it would be more difficult.
Push it into the more possible realm.
So I think I had a couple of advantages in that regard.
But I do think you should, and I said this offline, but I think you should, and we can even spend a minute tonight after we stream or whatever. I think you should delete the content because
I wanted to.
Sort of the unlocking is, A, it introduces the mechanics slowly, which is helpful, and B, it's sort of like overall, like once you've gotten familiar with playing the game, that's sort of your broad strokes goals. Right. So you're denying yourself the amount that I have unlocked already.
I actually agree with you. I went in and wanted to delete the content, and when I looked on the forums, what it seemed to be the case, and they didn't address the particular issue of your content also being my content.
Right.
That it wasn't profiled saves, which it should be and is not yet. Or maybe just an oversight. But the developers had actually responded to people trying to delete their save content, and it doesn't actually seem reliable. This is kind of funny. The save content is stored, obviously, in a particular directory, but Steam likes to cloud backup stuff.
Right.
So there's a
so
multi-part
my theory
process.
is, because you're not playing as me,
right,
if you delete your local content, Steam will not sync my content back to your PC.
So
Although because you have
I have
played
completed
once
it. Yes,
already,
yes, I know.
that may not be
It
the
may not
case.
work. So now, having
You can,
said that,
what you can do
Yep.
is you can turn off cloud saving.
Yep, and then delete the content.
Delete the content, play a game so that it creates the content, then turn
Boy.
cloud saving back on,
See what happens.
and I know what happens. Steam will say, hey, you have local content that's newer than the server content, would you like to upload it? And then you say
Oh,
yes.
interesting. I've never encountered that. So that might work. It's a lot of work. Now, having said all that, I might just not care initially because the developers did say they were going to add a formalized option to delete to reset the game
Right.
within the game.
And they're pushing out new content every week.
Right. So it might, because
Well,
I'm still
it's minor updates, but they're pushing something out every week.
sure, and I
Content might be generous.
sure. I'm sure, it's early access. It'll be variable, but I respect their commitment. And the game definitely seems to have, despite the fact that your immediate peers are not necessarily getting into it, myself notwithstanding, it seems to be well played. Like when you beat it, there's sort of a, I'll simply say, there's a cumulative tally, I guess, a progress tally that to me would indicate it's seen a fair amount of play.
Well, I watched, and I love that the developer shared the video of, there's a recent streamer who made an infinite combo deck and then finished the game with the infinite combo deck, and that was kind of amusing. So.
Yeah, that's cool. I got, so my other notable achievement, in addition to beating it, which I did mention to you online earlier, was I did actually defeat the second major boss without taking damage at all.
Yeah. Well, that's not as much of an accomplishment as you might think.
Sure, maybe not.
Beating bosses without taking damage, once you know the mechanics, is not very far-fetched.
Fair enough. I know that I got an achievement for it, and I felt special. Yes.
Especially with the other class. The other class is very good at that.
Oh, interesting.
But with either class,
yeah, that is fair. Yeah, it's a fun game. It fits that roguelike genre. Not even genre. Genre is not fair, actually. Roguelike isn't really a genre.
No.
It's
Well, I
It's
mean,
an
originally it was,
attribute.
but that word has come to mean something that isn't
Right.
any longer.
It is an attribute that a game can have regardless of its genre at this point. So to that end, it does serve that role of being something you can go in and do a couple rounds, and then a month later when they release some meaningful additional content, you can go in and do a few more rounds, experiment a little more, and I don't even think it needs to be, for me personally, I don't think it needs to be as, I don't need to be as obsessive about it necessarily.
But you will.
And I might obsess about it. I might feel really good about it. But even if I don't have to.
Wait till you just barely don't succeed. That's the
sure.
problem.
Yeah.
Succeeding is
Yeah,
fine. Succeeding
yeah.
I'm done. I did it. When you're like, oh, if I just hit this last turn right, it would have worked. Then you're like, all right, go again.
And then it's Tuesday.
Yeah.
No. I hear you. So we'll see. But again, it doesn't even need to do that to be a successful game for me. That I can see myself being like, I'm going to play a round of this. Because so many games you can't really do that round, especially a single-player experience. Like multiplayer games are often round-based, but single-player games don't have that as much, where you can have a complete or near-complete experience in a sitting. Everything is
Well, it's what the benefit of a roguelike.
of a roguelike. Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
And crud, what was I going to say? Something. Shoot.
Roguelike.
Kind
of
I will
experience.
say, I mean, this is not what I was going to say, but it was something I wanted to say earlier. I will say, I do appreciate that it is, in fact, a rogue light in that there is persistent progression in the form of the unlocks, but in terms of how much more powerful that makes your character to start with, it's very, very minor. So it feels more like a traditional rogue light, where you, rather than a rogue light, where you literally have to just have a good run and gear up and make the best choices along the way to succeed.
It's definitely, I agree with that. I think it's a good solution to the problem because a lot of games, the way they handle that roguelite nature, even a game like Rogue Legacy, there's legitimate progression where you are definitively stronger on subsequent
Your
plays.
starting character will never be better. It will always be the same.
Right.
His growth potential changes slightly.
Right.
But It will start the same every run.
Yeah, it's sort of like, you roll random content between 1 and 5, and then you unlock by the end up through 1 through 10. So
Yeah.
you're getting content from a wider pool.
And in some ways, that actually makes it a little more difficult because
Nothing's
picking a strategy
less
then
reliable.
makes the cards more, like the available cards, more diluted.
Yep. There's
So you need to
definitely
be more versatile and interesting for that regard.
I agree, and there's definitely a lot of satisfaction, and where I enjoyed the one playthrough I did, but also enjoyed watching you play and could recognize this as. Go ahead.
I found what I was going to say.
Yeah, do it. Do it.
It was. It's an inexpensive game.
Yeah.
It's going to retail. It sounds like for $20.
Yeah.
And it's cheaper in early access.
Right.
So there's literally no reason to go check it out right away. I think it's $16 now or something like
something
that.
like that. At the under 20 price point, if the premise is appealing, it's a well executed thing, even with the content it currently has, and even in early access, and it's fairly stable, I might add. Like some early access games,
It's not crashy.
yeah,
Definitely.
and you can see that there's room for growth, and that's no problem. That's to be expected with early access. But in terms of an early access experience, it's legitimate. It's worth the money. You would not regret if the premises sounds good to you.
And I'm done with the game for now,
Yep.
having just this week,
Completed your
Wednesday, I
unlocks?
think. Yeah, finished the unlocking. And I went back and dabbled a little bit,
Sure.
but it wasn't as compelling, so
Right.
I decided to just step away. But I got a good 60 hours to play through it. So
For under $20,
Yeah.
what more can you want? And I mean that's really great. And again, 60 hours of compartmentalized experiences. So you didn't have to commit 60 hours. So a lot of single player games,
Yeah.
err on the side of just being longer. And this is just a good
No.
90-minute to 2.5 hour experience. I mean, you said a good run can go maybe an hour if you're really
well,
efficient.
my fastest complete the game run was under an hour, but just barely.
Wow,
Um,
that is fast.
yeah, and you get an achievement for that.
Jeez.
But in general, a complete the game run cost me about 2 hours.
Right. Yeah, I think mine was... I don't actually remember. There might be a history or something I could look, but I suspect it was about 2 hours. I think it's right at that mark.
They do keep a tremendous amount of stats on what's going on, so
That's good.
especially because you have exactly one run now, you can get that information.
Right.
Like I'm not
Depending
sure
on how much of the save stuff was carried
Oh,
over from
that's
yours,
true.
so it could
That's
be
true.
money.
It might have all my.
But I'll look. But yeah, one of the things I wanted to comment on, mechanically speaking, is the game consists of cards, but it also consists of relics, which I think are the other major playing piece. I think they're called or artifacts.
Relics.
And
Artifact is something different.
right, as a status effect, which is very weird. But basically, the cards, you get a hand of cards, you play the cards, you have so much energy every turn, spend cards equal to the energy, like typical resource management stuff, and then you get a new hand of cards. And cards can be attacks and blocks and so forth. But then you also have relics, which are permanent modifiers on your circumstance. So they can be things like in your first combat, you have an extra energy. When you're under a certain amount of health, you generate extra damage every turn. And they're incredibly varied. They're incredibly varied, and they definitely looked at every mechanic in the game and just tried to check off a relic for basically every place a relic could hook in, which I greatly appreciate. And the process of the game is very much, at least the way that I did it in my playthrough, is you don't always know exactly where you're going with a trajectory, because a relic can provide a new optimal route. So you sort of play the game like you're flowing down a river, where you're sort of always taking the path of least resistance. Except you don't have gravity to count on to tell you what the path of least resistance is. You sort of have to divine it for yourself. So it's sort of like, you start out, okay, I'm the warrior, I have this basic stuff, I get this one relic early on that says, do this particular thing, or a card that says do this particular thing. Okay, so now I'm making choices based on that. So if you imagine forks in the road kind of thing, and then I get a relic that tells me to go a certain way. It's like, okay, how can I make that work with this thing? And you're just sort of working your way down this path, and the final picture that is your deck isn't necessarily what you envisioned out of the start, because the relics really do shape subsequent decisions.
Right.
And they're all refinements on whatever your initial premise is, and even what your class is. But figuring out how to you have to be flexible rather than rigid with your design, because you have to maximize the use of the relics, and that's a really fun part of the experience.
What you're describing is the fundamental mechanics a roguelike,
Sure.
which this is just, it does very well. It
Right.
does in a very entertaining fashion.
Right, and an original format to some degree, or original mechanic set anyway, with things like the card draw. But yeah, so I guess maybe that is. And roguelikes are... It's interesting because I haven't really played a bunch of roguelikes in the past. It's a genre that I'm not extensively familiar with. Most of my exposure has come through games that you've shown me, even though I'm familiar with the concept. And a little bit of time I spent with Rogue Legacy, which again is sort of a roguelite, but you know, not without the word rogue in there. But the nature of the way I experience progress in Stalk the Spire, is that what it's called?
Slay
the Spire. You want to kill it.
Yeah,
you want to kill it.
you've been singing the praises of this game for 10
Spire
minutes.
game.
You don't even know its
No,
name.
I don't. Played it once. Had a good time. Would slay again. Where was I going with that? Oh yeah, so my experience with roguelikes is not extensive, but I can say that the feeling of the branching paths with the strategy of the experience feels rewarding.
Well, it's magnified because it's also a deck builder. Like deck builder
Right.
has very
tangible choices.
yeah, and very strategic synergies and stuff like that.
Right.
You have to be mindful.
Well,
of.
the
So
turn-based combat that comes from that is, I think, a part of that as well. So I feel like
it's a good combo of mechanics.
Yeah, I think so. So anyway, yeah, we don't have to dwell on it any longer, but I'll certainly play it more. I am going to try and play some more Titan Quest, however. I'll talk about that briefly, which is I feel as though I've encountered at least one quest that seems bugged. I don't know if you encountered that, but there is and maybe I'll discover something, but there's a quest which is like two bickering brothers.
Mm-hmm.
And I talked to them, and you're trying to settle a dispute, and I talked to them both until they were in looping text, and no dispute was settled and no option was given. So I'm like, okay, well clearly there's something I'm missing that I need to settle this dispute. So I reviewed the text window, the quest window for clues about what the hell I was supposed to do. I was supposed to solve this, and say, oh well, talk to the village leader, and maybe she'll be able to help you out. So I went over and talked to the village leader, and she didn't help me out. So now I don't really know what to do, because the quest says, do this thing, and I did the thing, and I reloaded the game and did the thing again, and it doesn't matter, like, nothing happens, and the quest is non-specific about what to do, so now...
It's not... Okay. Yes, I'm familiar with the quest.
Okay.
It's not bugged, but it's probably poorly designed.
It feels poorly designed. Like, I'll acknowledge that sometimes there are puzzles in games that stump me. I'm a smart guy, but I can be stumped by something.
Well,
but I feel like there's no
in Titan
guidance
Quest,
given.
there's not puzzles.
Right.
There's dumb lock and key mechanisms.
Right.
And in Titan Quest Ragnarok,
Yeah.
the locks and the keys are presented out of order, which is... And no further clarification is
Sure.
given in that regard.
Sure.
So it just feels really clumsy.
Yeah, I literally don't know what to do. Like, I have talked to them all in different orders. I've talked to them like clockwise, counterclockwise, them, her, them, her, them, this brother, that brother, her,
Why on
her,
earth would you do any of that? Why do you like this game enough to do that?
I don't like leaving quests undone. But there continues to be no information given. I'm like long past that point, and I think that quest is going to not get solved. I don't know. I talked to everybody in the town multiple times. I can't attack them as far as I can tell. Like, I can't kill one of them.
I'm trying to avoid spoilers about this.
Sure.
If you're long past that point, and that's not an exaggeration,
Yeah.
then you have missed something.
That's kind of what I'm figuring. Hi, honey.
Hello. What's up?
We're streaming. It's fun times. Yeah, I feel like I'm missing...
I don't, it's not a good enough game to finish all the quests.
Well, here's the thing. Like, I tend to want to complete things, and I've never encountered
I
quests
didn't get all
that
the
I've had
pieces of that
difficulty.
stupid pot. Who cares?
So it's funny you should say that. Me neither. And that's starting to bother me. I have found 3 of the 4 pieces. And I don't know how many you found, but I'm
Yeah, I
missing
found
1
3 of
piece.
them.
So, like,
You just have to go way the fuck out of your way, and it's dumb. And don't. Oh, pardon me. I'm swearing on the stream.
Yeah.
Usually I don't. I'm just that tired.
A little profanity is not the end of the world. It's the internet.
It's just jump through hoops. Like there's more annoying jump through hoop stuff in the quest design in
Ragnarok. Yep.
than in the base game.
I agree with you, and that's starting to annoy me.
I was so weary of the game by then. I just didn't bother with it.
Yep. Well, it's interesting because it's possible. So the other quest that I'm basically table flipping on is, and this might even maybe I don't know if you looked it up or not, but maybe I exchanged this item for the piece or whatever. But there's a guy that wants me to make a necklace, basically, and it's stupid. It's like a farm quest. Why would they put a farm quest in Titan Quest at all? It's ridiculous. Like,
sure.
It's basically so. Just
however,
yeah.
I can't imagine you don't have tons and tons and tons of every type of relic like I did.
That one I needed. You need 3 of this particular. So relics are just an uncommon drop from creatures, and you need a certain number of them to form a whole relic. I have.
That is one of the most common ones.
I have 1 and 2 pieces.
Wow.
So I'm not even halfway to being done with that. So it's
that is
like
halfway, isn't it?
You know, they're 5 pieces to complete.
Okay, sure,
so
sure.
I've got 7
A little
pieces.
less than halfway, I guess.
But like.
Hey, hi dudes. No, we're dudes. Hi Chris. Welcome.
Hi Chris and dudes. So yeah, it's just like, and you know, maybe you had no problem getting that, but it's like, I will have to now, if I want to complete that quest.
You don't.
Right.
You don't have to do everything.
Well, sure, but the thing is,
Don't do everything,
in a
Kyle.
game
you
like
are
Titan Quest.
spoiling your own enjoyment of what is going to be a difficult game to finish.
Well, Titan Quest is spoiling my experience of Titan Quest. That's
sure,
the
no,
issue.
yeah,
And-
it's not a fantastic game. It's
Well-
a good game, but it's not a great game.
well, and to be fair, Ragnarok's quest design is weaker than the rest of the quest design in the game, because in a game like
It's
this,
more varied.
yeah, which is good and bad, right? Like they took some risks, and some of it pans off, but then some of it's like
Hands off.
pans out. But then some of it is like, well, it's just really terrible. Like I didn't get a lot of the wolf charms, so now I'm just SOL on this quest. So they made a quest that I
It's
either have
not
to
the
manually
worst
farm.
design decision they made,
Yeah, it could be so.
which you have yet to counter. And I don't know if we've provided context on this on stream, but
Yeah.
there are 2 elements. I'm just saying it like a Chapter 5 NPC.
Yeah.
2 elements that will deter.
Oh God. We ain't got time
There's
for
2
that.
elements that were almost deal breakers for me
Right.
that are in the expansion content.
Right.
And one of the elements was really, really annoying. And again, by that point, I said I was quite weary of the game. I was weary since Act 3.
Right.
And it was difficult to get past. And one was so incredibly bad, I really, really, really wanted to just stop playing forever.
Yeah.
And
You bared it through.
I felt like I was at most 4 and probably more like 2 hours from the end of the game at that point. So I forced myself through it and did some really stupid, really not fun things to get through this experience.
You're right.
And finish the game. But
Yeah.
that particular experience, which I'm talking about in vagaries for the benefit of Kyle, because he hasn't encountered it yet, is going to be worse
Right, for me.
for Kyle's character than
Right.
it was for my character. And I think my theory is that Kyle will not survive that combat.
It's
Especially
terrifying.
if he's already grumpy about these quests.
Well, yeah, and you know, it's definitely it is kind of a weird
that is
sad
my
thing.
wager. And you know, like, I don't think you're incapable of doing it.
Sure.
But I think...
Will I put up with
yeah,
it is the question.
It's like, are you enjoying the game? Have you enjoyed the game? You've enjoyed the game far more than I have.
Sure.
Have you enjoyed it enough to overcome this
Decision,
frigging
yeah.
wall of design pain?
Well, I've got to be getting closer
Which
to it.
I will even tell you in advance, it's pretty brief. It's not
Right.
a lingering, terrible experience, but
But
it
it's
is a terrible
yeah,
experience.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's I mean, part of me is definitely looking forward to seeing what it is. Like, there's a curiosity element. Right now, I have literally just made it to the Rainbow Bridge.
That was the point where, and this is,
And that looks cool, really cool.
that was the first point in Titan Quest, period, in my recent playthrough, where I was like, I feel excited to play this game. I feel like
Right.
my character's important. I feel like I'm doing cool stuff.
Yeah.
And I was energized from that for like an hour or two.
Right.
And that was great.
Yep.
And then the thing happened.
And
And
then
I'm
the
like,
thing
oh, God.
So I'm a couple. That sounds like I'm a couple hours away, but yeah, it's so funny. I feel like this expansion, this 11 years later expansion, has some of the best of the game and also some of the worst. They do have more varied quests, and some of them are legitimately more interestingly designed and enjoyable because of that. Their 3D art is actually, I think, a notch better. They use more liberal use of VFX that feel a little more modern and create some really beautiful, beautiful artistic decisions. But simultaneously, it's more disjointed. Some of the new quest things, I think, are horrible and arcane and unengaging. And I feel like I shouldn't struggle with knowing what to do in a quest in an ARPG ever. It should never be a problem I have. And I think the 2D art is awful. And I know you said that you didn't even notice that, but I thought the 2D art was a big
I'm
thing.
not. I notice less the art in games than Kyle does.
Sure.
Chris, you can experience the content. However, it is gated behind some 50-odd hours of a really
ARPG.
archaic ARPG at this point.
Excellent
Or
ARPG.
you can, with the new content, you can start at the beginning of the
that's
new
true.
content. Am I losing my voice? That would be terrible.
Don't do that.
You can start at the beginning of the new content and level skip, but you will be slightly, probably not meaningfully, but slightly less powerful than had you played from the beginning, and then you would be 10 hours away from this content.
Yeah.
So, the power is within you, is what I'm getting at.
Yeah.
But why do you want to experience? Just wait until 2 weeks from now, and I'll explain that in a minute, because our entire audience is here now.
Yeah.
But wait until 2 weeks when Kyle has experienced this content, and he'll complain about it on stream, and then you'll understand. And maybe we'll even just be like outright forthcoming with it and be like, "This is what it is," and it's so terrible.
Spoiler alert.
Like, I'm being vague, not for the benefit of our audience,
But for me, yeah.
but for the benefit of Kyle. So we'll throw up a spoiler alert or whatever. Just be like, "Here's the content." Man, was that terrible? Did you get through it? I didn't get through it. That kind of thing.
That's fair. And for what it's worth, I mean, the build-up is amazing. Maybe I'll think it's brilliant and love it.
Well, it's sort of like imagine you're playing a 60-hour ARPG, or it's more like 50. Imagine playing a 50-hour ARPG, and 45 hours in, it's like, the mechanics of this game. Instead of that, what if it was awful for like 20 minutes?
Right.
Not the things you do to play this game. That's just bad.
Right.
That is not what you can do anymore. But for like 20 minutes.
I can have some hypothesis about what would make that awful. I do have some hypothesis about how you could undermine your own experience. But
what if it became a kart racer?
Right.
A really bad kart racer.
Yep.
It's nothing like that. But
no, I mean, that's what comes to my mind is that they got it in their heads to have the fly backwards level of Titan Quest, and we ended up where we are. So I'm interested, but I definitely approach it with trepidation. I wouldn't say that. I'd still say I'm enjoying my experience more than not, but I was saddened because I feel like you should just complete quests as you play, and if you got away out of your way, it should be purposeful. Why have quests at all?
Yeah. They don't add much. They really don't. Literally, every quest gear you get, you throw away right away.
Yeah, that's true. I've never gotten any gear. So why have them at all? That's actually an interesting question. I guess they, at least in the context of an ARPG, I feel like the quests give you a little additional sense of purpose and
that helps. I mean, it is a big grind, especially a game from that era, so it distracts from that a little bit, and that's a good argument.
Yeah, and so it's, but I also will acknowledge that they're sort of imperfect. They're
it's less distracting. My point is, it's less distracting if they're trivial, which is what they mostly were up until Immoral Throne, or not Immoral Ragnarok.
Yeah. So it's going to be curious. There was actually I won't talk about it specifically, but they did that sort of plot twisty thing that some things do, where it's like, how to explain this without spoiling it up. I'll think for a moment. If I can't, I won't talk to it. But
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
We can discuss that offline.
Yeah, I guess they take you on a path that you might not find agreeable, and that's sometimes
I
annoying.
want to do that.
Yeah.
It was not like super egregious in this one. Like
It was
it
not
was
egregious.
rationalizable.
Yeah.
Where in a lot of games it's just like.
Right. Yeah.
Let me put it this way. So they pull a. I'll describe how it works in Diablo 3, which has a similar narrative development that it really sticks in my craw. Which you might not know because it's a narrative development in the expansion, in the Reaper of Souls expansion. So the story of Diablo 3 is, you're fighting evil, you're fighting Diablo, blah blah blah, stuff happens. I'm not even going to go into it, but
blah 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 Diablo.
Finish the game, you defeat Diablo, the primeval, and then this expansion starts. And there is an actor, a person of interest, a character in the main content who is largely responsible for the difficulties associated with the quest, like the return of Diablo.
Yeah.
So that is the responsibility of some person.
Right.
But this person is a bad person, but I don't know if their malice wasn't particularly personal. It wasn't targeted. They're not your. I feel like I'm losing my voice. They're not your nemesis. So expansion content, Reaper of Souls. Some of the middle part of that game is characters reacting to your, basically, what do you call that? Insertion character, like a character with no personality, whose personality you feel is your own.
Right.
As though you are crazy with bloodlust for vengeance for this character, and it felt really off-putting to me because it's just like I don't really feel that way.
Right.
So you acting like I'm nuts is making me feel bad about this whole experience.
Yeah, that's interesting. Very interesting. Even.
So something similar to that is what Kyle is getting at. A characterization of your character that doesn't fit with your expectations.
Right. Yep, and that's similar here, though. You're right; it's ain't a little bit better, but it didn't bother me extensively. But it didn't.
I just don't, I don't like when things. I don't like it when it's a risky gambit because it can lead to good storytelling, but again, it can lead to being off-putting. So we've been talking about games for like a half hour. We should probably get into some cards tonight. But really quick, I wanted to say, since our audience is here now, it kind of covers our board game topic, or at least gives a little hand wave in that direction. Kyle and I did not stream last week, and we are switching to a bi-weekly schedule, if that's the correct term, and if it's not, it is a semi-weekly schedule, and by that I mean we are going to be streaming every other Friday going forward, not every Friday, and the reason for that is Ian, I've been invited to a D&D game that meets every other Friday, so I'll be alternating between that and our Versus System stream, and just really quickly, I'm really excited to be involved in that and having a lot of fun so far, even though I've only been in one session. It's been something I've been trying to do for a long time, and
good start. Yeah,
I'm really feeling the creative juices and putting way more effort into it than I probably should be. And probably when I'm done, I'm still working on my character's backstory and build a little bit. Yeah. Probably when I'm done with that, which should be this weekend, I think. I would like to share it with you, and I would like to share it with. I just pointed at Chris as though he can see me. I would like to share it with Chris in our audience here, and Casey, if you're interested, I'll even share it with you.
You'll share it with everyone. Anyone who
because
asks.
I put a lot of effort into it, and I feel really good about how it's coming together.
That's great. Well, I'll actually look forward to that. That will be fun.
But we can jump into some cards.
We should jump into some cards.
Yeah.
I've got sort of a trinity of decks here.
That one.
This one.
The close one.
The
Odds.
close one.
Bless you.
This one is the double A in the heap.
Okay. Actually, be entertaining for... Oh, I still have some drink. I was going to say I was going to get some water, but...
Nope. Nope. No water for you. No water.
Double A, you say?
Double A, I say.
Okay.
Okay. And away we go.
What I wanted to share with you, Chris, is just the sort of write-up I've done for my character build and background and stuff. not super important that you see it, but I put a lot of creative energy into it, so I'm excited to share it with people, even outside of the group who it is intended for.
That's good. Alrighty. I'm gonna set them there cards here. Seek out some life dice. Get out that. Alrighty. Now, to begin us off, I shall roll,
Alright.
and I will declare odds.
That is not how this works.
You're right. It sure isn't. I suppose the two numbers add up to be an even.
We haven't done that in like 2 years,
That's
Kyle.
pretty
What's wrong with
amazing.
you, man?
I've got brain problems and foot problems. I will go outer die.
I think I got your deck.
Sure,
I
cut it
haven't
again.
forgotten.
I lost the inner die one.
Alright, these are an evens deck, I'm pretty sure.
Right.
Pretty sure.
4 cards. 4 is the number of cards. I can't keep
It
that.
was a bad draw, and I ditched it and replaced it with the kind of a bad draw. So this might not be such a hot game on my end.
Oh my word.
But we shall see.
Oh my word.
I hope you're having a similar experience.
Well, I have some good things here, and I have some not good things.
Okay?
We're going to start, however, by recruiting... Wait a minute. You and odds.
No. No, I didn't.
You said this is an odds deck.
Did I?
I feel like you did, but now I'm not so sure.
It's an evens deck, and I intended to go evens.
All right,
so
I will assume
despite what I said,
I have
my
an aspiring
intent
pawn.
was
You
to
might
go
be
for-
right.
yeah.
You might be right.
Well, shit.
How are they
Stop
gonna work?
cursing! Stop it, Kyle!
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm getting carried away
I've got
with myself.
anarchy. Yeah, you're gonna get the stupid thing. Read the
Oh,
pawn.
yeah, I'm gonna-
Read the pawn.
Aspiring pawn
Explain
is
to
an
our
army
audience why
character.
I'm annoyed at you.
It's amazing. Whenever aspiring pawn causes breakthrough while attacking a player directly, that'll never happen. Put a 1/1 counter on aspiring pawn, and it loses the version army and gains the version knight.
Not a fan. Whenever anarchy attacks an exhausted character, that character can't ready this turn.
I'll attack you for 1.
I'll attack you for 2.
Ah, you are ahead of this game, but I get a counter.
Very briefly.
Yeah, that was a talkative catting over there.
Oh man, no, it's pretty bad.
And it ain't great for me, for what it's worth.
Good.
It is now your initiative, Mr. Evans.
I'm going to play as my resource and then play as a plot twist. The unusual suspects, and by that I mean the usual suspects. I'm having some issues already. Search your deck for 2 different Arkham Inmates characters with the same cost. Reveal them and put them into your hand.
Quality.
And discard 2 cards at random.
Oh my. Oh my.
Cagey Beast and Crime Doctor go into my hand, and then at random I will discard 2 cards. And my hope is that those 2 cards will not be Cagey Beast and Crime Doctor.
Right. Right on. Right on. And Beast and Crime Doctor. I don't actually know if this is Inmates or Insanity yet. Or it might be discard Inmates.
One of the cards is Catwoman. The other is Cagey Beast.
Well, that answers one question.
I recruit Crime Doctor. Crime Doctor's power is I may return him to owner's hand to exhaust 2 target characters. I may only do this during my attack step.
I don't know why Aspiring Pawn's not ready. He's getting ready. I'm going to flip up Brother Eye Satellite. Brother Eye Satellite is not unique.
Satellite.
When you flip it, you may discard a character card. If you do, search for your 2-drop and recruit it.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Very specific 2-drops. No, that's not true. Search for a character card, put it in your hand. We're going to search for Lovable Scamp Sasha Bordeaux.
Oh no! Checkmate. I haven't seen these guys in a while.
It's
Like
been a
legit
while.
checkmate.
Yeah, legit checkmate. Sasha Bordeaux
You
gets...
better not have like tons of equipment. I'm gonna be grumpy.
I don't have
Oh,
tons of equipment.
You punk.
I'm a punk. No swearing. Okay, so
Joke's on you, Sazzy Bordeaux won't ready this turn.
that's probably true.
I am willing to throw away Anarchy for that.
I then am going to play Tricked Out Sports Car, and I may exhaust a location rather than play its recruit cost. Equipped character gets +2 attack and +1 defense and flight and range.
So Sazzy Bordeaux is in a 12-9.
Pretty gigantor. So yeah, she's +1 12-9. This isn't your deck, sir. Oh, I had a yogurt earlier.
Oh.
So a 16-8.
Thank you.
Toes?
Sure.
21-23.
The answer is 6-6. Is that right? +2 +1. And +1 No, it wasn't
That's
right.
way wrong.
Way wrong. 6-5. Is that right? I should really practice adding. 1, 2, 3, 6.
She's 6, 4.
6, 4.
That's
Yeah, boy, I am sleepy. Sure, dear. Thank you. 6, 4. We'll go with that.
Yeah.
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 See?
See, yeah.
Quite.
Well, I'm formed.
I pass.
Even though you're going to anarchy me, I've got to hit Crime Doctor.
I'm gonna anarchy you all right. I will take, what do you only take 5 from that? It's still quite a bit.
Big for 2 drop.
I will anarchy you.
I do not ready this turn.
I will take 2 more.
2 more. And I get a bigger point.
Oh no.
I do feel you. This draw is not everything.
Okay. Well, I'm going to play as my resource the usual suspects, and reveal and play the usual suspects to go get.
Oh no.
This is fantastic. Fantastic. Charaxes and it's probably Two-Face. I think my only choice is Two-Face. I wish my only choice was not Two-Face.
This is a sad day.
Who are added to my hand, and then I discard 2 cards at random again.
That'll show you. We're going to select that card.
That card is Tallyman. When Tallyman is discarded, a cool power I can't play now. And Two-Face.
This is a sad day.
May give me an opportunity which I didn't have until this moment. That very choice. I will be recruiting Charaxes. Charaxes' power is whenever Charaxes stuns an exhausted defender, KO that defender. Charaxes cannot cause breakthrough.
I'm formed.
Shush. I forgot something actually. If you don't mind, I also intended to put a power armor on Charaxes.
Sure.
Power armor is equipped character has +2 attack and can attack as though it had flight. And then Charaxes attacks. Sasha
Can't deal
Bordeaux.
breakthrough. I'm KO'd. Stunned and KO'd. Or
yeah, I believe so. Yeah. Stunned and
So I
KO'd.
still take the 2.
Yep. And I'm going to return Crime Doctor to my hand to exhaust your Inspiring Pawn.
Okay, fair. Why not? That's amazing. And not necessarily in a good way, but it's amazing. Boy, the lull's so real.
Did you... That was wrong. You had initiative.
Oh,
You should have attacked Charaxes and could have. Let's rewind that.
Okay, all right.
Let me see if I can figure out what goes on
Right,
top
because
of my deck.
I'm odds and you're evens.
Yeah.
All right, so also I'm not at 36.
Crime Doctor was in play.
All right, so I was at 48. This is actually not too hard to reconstruct. The only question is what.
These two were on top of the deck. Okay.
I believe it was these.
I'm straightened out. Sasha was exhausted. We
Yeah.
were winding that turn. I didn't take damage for Charaxes being stunned anyway, which
Yep.
was a mistake.
I am exhausted here, so you are correct. Of course, I must attack. That is admittedly a radically different outcome.
Yep.
Yeah, so I'm gonna power armor is what +2.
+2 attack.
All right, so I go after him with the aspiring pawn, and I am
I take 3.
counter stunned.
You're counter stunned. I will pass.
Right. There's actually something kind of moderately funny about this. This might even put you in a better position. That's really weird. All right, so then passes and readying,
Yeah.
and yep, all that stuff.
Boy, that was a disastrous mistake of a turn that I'm glad we were able to fix.
There's a supreme irony here, and I am glad we fixed it because this is how it should be. But it's gonna get kind of funny in a second.
And what I need to do is this. And I'm going to recruit the Riddler. I'm going to recruit the Riddler.
I'm with you.
The Riddler is who I recruit. I recruit the Riddler.
Good plan.
I recruit the Riddler, and that's it. I was thinking of recruiting something else. That's why I said the Riddler 4 times for no reason.
Right.
The Riddler's power is at the start of my attack step. I may discard a card at random if I do exhaust a target visible character.
I don't have anyone.
Right. Oh, I knew that. I see. That makes sense.
I'm in real bad shape.
Yeah. I return Crime Doctor to exhaust both your characters. Did you miss 3 and 4?
Uh-huh.
Oh my. You are in bad shape.
My draw's awful. By the way,
I
this
did
is a
have to-
weenie deck.
I did have to search for 2 and 3. I had nothing until 4. So Charaxes attack Sasha.
Okay. Okay.
I will be counter-stunned. I will take 3.
Now I must
You
pass.
pass, and then I attack you for 7.
So I take 7 and 2.
Yeah, your draw was much worse.
It was terrible. Real bad. So
You still have more life than I do.
It's odd. That can't be right. 35?
Nope.
Not right.
It's done Charaxes. You attack me for 1, 2, and 3.
I don't think I attacked you for 3. I think I just attacked you for 1 and 2.
1 and 2. And Sasha attacked me for 6, which I took 5 of.
Right. 8. I feel like you should be at 39.
So turn 1 was 1.
Yeah.
Turn 2 was
2.
I did recruit Crime Doctor, but you stunned him, so I took 2. So that's 3.
Okay.
Turn 3, I got Charaxes, whom you hit for 3. And that's
That
6.
an apple?
No, turn 2 you hit me with... I'm sorry. So turn 2 you hit me for 2 and 5.
Right. That was my
9.
big turn.
You're right. I should take 9 and 3 more. 12. I should be 38.
38. I like it. So we're tied. It is my initiative now?
Yep.
Yeah, I do have a 5 drop.
Yay.
It's Roy Harper, Arsenal.
Uh-oh.
I can exhaust 2 locations I control to give him 1 attack. I can also activate and KO a resource I control to stun target attacker with attack less than Roy Harper's attack. That is an activated power. And then I'm going to exhaust this to give him a tricked out sports car, which is +2/+1, and flight and range.
Okay. Well.
No, thank you. Thank you, dear.
Well.
Thank you.
I'm going to recruit Catwoman.
Aw, I'm glad I got rid of her. I tried really hard.
I don't know if I should recruit her to my concealed area or not. I will think about that in a moment. I have made my decision. She's going to be visible because she gets a power up.
She has 9 lives, Kyle. Can't get rid of her.
Can't get rid of her. Clearly.
Entertaining comments from the peanut gallery.
I'm
so
on board.
she looks near my. Here, I'll move her over here, just so
Right.
there's no confusion. I am trying to illustrate that my characters are not adjacent to each other. In addition, that's it.
Okay.
Wait, what is Roy Harper's defense?
It is 10. +2/+1 from this, and otherwise it's printed.
Boy, that's annoying. That is so annoying. I have to recruit the power armor Riddler.
That is annoying.
Sure would like Catwoman to have power armor.
Yep.
Did I read Catwoman? I don't think I did.
You should read Catwoman.
Catwoman's power is whenever Catwoman stuns a defender, choose one, draw a card, or target player discards a card.
I will attack Charaxes for 11.
Yep. Well, I will replay All Locked Up. Target attacker can't cause breakthrough this attack while attacking an Arkham Inmate's defender that's not adjacent to any characters. So I will take 3. Now, assuming you are done with your turn, that makes it the start of my attack step.
It is the start of your attack stuff.
So the question is, do I think your little pee-wee knight with 3 attack can get tough enough to take out the Riddler or Catwoman? Which would be pretty devastating if it occurred to my situation, because I plan to pass. And the answer is, I can't take that risk, so I discard a card at random to exhaust him.
Can you target a hidden
I
character?
can't, so no. Then I just pass. Oh no. Better not
You pass,
work.
right, because you don't want to lose Charaxes.
Better not work.
Alright, well the question now is, can I make that work? It ain't going to be easy. How much do I need out of this heap?
Minimum 4.
Minimum 4.
And that's for the Riddler.
That's for the Riddler.
I know your deck is bursty, so...
Yeah. I'm going to try, because I've got to try. I'll start by flipping up the Checkmate Safe House, which is not unique. As an additional cost, to flip the Checkmate Safe House, choose up to 2 team affiliations. I'll choose Checkmate and Teen Titans. They're teamed up. More importantly, I can activate it, and Checkmate characters you control get +1 defense, while defending in your support row this turn. Then I will flip up Brother Eye, which is my big spiky spike. I can activate it to return an army of Checkmate character cards from my KO pile to my hand, or target Checkmate attacker you control gets +X this attack, where X is the number of locations I control. So I'm going to attack. We're up to 6, and I'm going for the Riddler. Then, I'm going to play Nightmare Scenario, a rare 4 threshold plot twist. Target attacker or defender you control gets +1/+1 this attack. If it has Checkmate affiliation, you may exhaust a location you control to give it an additional 1/1. So my attack is 8. unfortunately, I can't wait to decide whether or not to play that effect.
Yes, fine. Works. I will take 5.
You take 1.
Math. I can math. It's really easy math. I don't know why I'm struggling with this.
You saw me wrestling
it's
with
the
Sasha
tired.
Bordeaux earlier. So you do pass with
I do pass, yeah.
Lady Cat Ears.
Lady Cat Ears, your old pal.
I see. I'm with you.
Video sucks? Are we having streaming problems? That's unfortunate. Kyle, what is your internet terrible? Oh, weird. I see that. Uh-oh. Can you hear us? Something may be wrong. Yeah. Something may be wrong with the camera.
It doesn't suck, it's stuck.
Let's see. Let me try turning it off and on. This is going to look terrible very briefly. Burp, burp. Come back, camera. Oh, that's just not giving us anything.
Okay. Did you jiggle the Jimmy?
Yeah,
Wiggle
we might have
the
to.
Wiggly? Wiggle that Jimmy. Did it do anything?
It usually crashes the software. How's that looking? Oh, we're back.
Yay.
Hey! I wonder how long it was froze.
Wonder how long he's froze for.
So that was resolved. That just happened.
Whoa. So as a reminder, for the duration of the turn, she is
Yes, I exhaust your
7.
remaining 2 characters.
Sure.
Then I play Scree. Target character gets -2 defense while defending this turn. I will choose Roy Harper. And
Roy Harper
can be attacked as though it were visible.
Fancy.
I will team attack Roy Harper.
It's a good thing you done did.
Trading lots of damage to KO your 5-drop.
Yeah, no, that ain't bad.
Might not win me the game.
Yeah,
I'm gambling.
I sure am exhausted. Sure is limiting. Yeah, I mean, I gotta deal the damage to Catwoman.
I will take 5. I will, in fact, draw a card.
I will also
Wait.
take-
No. I will, in fact, discard a card. I will discard the penguin. Whoop, come back, card back here. Whenever the penguin is discarded, you may instead remove him from the game. If you do, return an Arkham Inmates character card from your KO'd pile to your hand.
That's so useful for you right now.
It's probably going to be the
Catwoman. Oh, Riddler. Can be Catwoman.
It could not be Catwoman because I don't think she's in here. She must be, though.
I got rid of a
Saw her
Catwoman earlier. I was so
There
happy
she
about it.
is.
Your Riddler could still be the better choice.
It's either way. Yeah, it's Riddler or Catwoman, so it's Catwoman.
Boy, I did not foresee that. I ain't out of it, but that wasn't great. Not
And
great.
I recover Riddler because I have a Catwoman. Is that right? No, it's Riddler. It's Riddler. I do it the cheaper way.
Yeah, totally. I
Yeah.
agree.
Derp.
I agree. Did I take my 5? I feel like I did. I think that was the first. Yeah, I did.
that's
I
right.
did.
Okay.
So
16 to 17. Woo.
neck and neck.
And I lose the Riddler. But now I have initiative on this turn 8.
Big deal. Big deal. Turn 8 with Checkmate. That is really not what you want for Checkmate.
Uh-oh. Don't like the sound of that.
Well, I'm chuckling for some irony as much as anything else, I suppose.
Boy, that's fascinating. I might need to not play the resource I want.
Dear, you may glance at this card.
I'm gonna play. I'm gonna play as my resource the hookup. Stop screwing around. I'm reading
It's
stuff.
fine.
The hookup's power is to play. Choose 2 different affiliations from among the characters you control. I would choose Arkham Inmates and Gotham Knights. Ongoing cross over the affiliations and discard a Gotham Knights character as a continuous power. To draw a card, use only once per turn. I will discard Clayface and the Arkham Inmates to draw a card, who is also a Gotham Knights. That was a good card to draw.
That's the split. I need you to not draw good cards.
Then I will recruit the Riddler and the Crime Doctor.
Oh, Crime Doctor, I hate you so much. Crime Doctor.
That's the Crime Doctor song. I'm
We
gonna
hate you
stack.
too.
I'm gonna stack my usual suspects so that I can splay my resources. Splay them.
Splay
like
them.
so many spliers.
There's something that I wish I could do right now, and I can't, and it's a silly reason, and I'm sad.
Okay, that's me. What you got?
Boy, that was
It's not a winner.
yeah,
It is some stuff,
good, it's a good situation you're in. How do I address this? 17 to 16.
I don't
What?
think this is the last
Did
time.
I deal you? Did you take your damage for Catwoman being stunned?
I may not have. I was at
Let's
20...
just sandwich because you were at either 22
Yes,
or
you're right.
23.
I did not.
Okay, all right. Still a close game, but
Yep.
that could matter.
It may end this turn because of that. Yes.
That's because I remember thinking that I had a chance,
Distinct
but
possibility.
it is interesting that it might be that fidelity.
Boy, I wish you didn't have Adrian Chase. He's a jerk in this very specific
Yeah,
circumstance.
it's very specific. It's very strange. Boy, how do I do anything at all in the world? Turn 8. It's probably that. Probably that. You can exhaust. You still have Riddler. You still have Catwoman.
That's
Your
what this,
team hasn't
this deck,
changed.
This deck is designed around having these characters on the board and
How
slowly
many of them have I
dealing.
killed?
I don't know.
There's
Does it matter?
3 Catwomen. I've got 6 more of them to go. I have Maxwell Lord.
Oh, he's big. He's not that big.
10-10. When Maxwell Lord is putting the KO power from the game, from play, I lose the game. And then he also has a power. Discard a location card. Target character loses all team affiliations this turn and cannot use payment powers this turn. Use this only during the combat phase and only once per turn. So I actually couldn't interrupt Crime Doctor anyway. And I got a form like this. Yeah. Then I have to decide if I use Adrian Chase. Because we're at a threshold where it may be more valuable because you can only exhaust 3 of my characters. You cannot exhaust all 4. And yet, still it's probably better for me to use his freaking power. So Riddler is a visible character and Crime Doctor is any 2.
Correct.
Son of a monkey's behind. I gotta think for just a second. I've gotta protect that way. You only have flight on Char Axis, but you're gonna be able to exhaust my whole team unless
I don't want that.
unless you don't.
Got Steven Universe songs in my head.
It's okay.
Been listening to the soundtrack all week.
It's okay. It's a good choice.
Good
choice.
soundtrack.
Yeah, good.
I was surprised. Like I didn't at first. I was a little like, oh, some of these are lame. And
Right.
I've been listening on loop for a couple days. I'm like, oh no, they're all pretty catchy.
They're all pretty catchy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Some of the Steven Universe is it's its strongest when it has a great song that correlates to a great moment in the show.
right.
And some of the songs didn't correlate to great moments, and that's
Right.
why I dismissed them. But
Right.
they are still good
They're
songs.
still catchy songs.
Yes.
So the question is, do I give up an attack to make something on my board too prickly for you to hit? Well, part of that is
I don't think at this point in the game there's a too prickly for me to hit.
Well, maybe. Maybe that is true.
I kind of have to kill you. This is my last initiative.
Right, because I have
For
initiative.
sure.
So that's a fair point. Yeah, that's pretty likely. I'm going to chalk that up as pretty likely. So let me theory craft your turn a little bit here. You
Do it.
All right. So first of all, I can't put Maxwell Lord in my back row. He doesn't have range.
I think this was a mistake. I think I played the wrong resource this turn.
That's interesting. So I'm going to put him there.
Okay.
Because I have to threaten with him. If I don't threaten with him at all, I have a serious issue. And threatening with him is critical. So then, do I fire Adrian Chase to prevent you from team attacking him? Well, he's not exhausted yet. To exhaust him, you'd pop Crime Doctor. Or just use Riddler. Still a pop Crime Doctor. Going to exhaust my team. God dang it. Is Adrian Chase more valuable? Okay, so to exhaust everyone. Now this is important. To exhaust everyone.
I cannot exhaust everyone.
Right, you'd have to stun one. So you exhaust everyone but one. If you do that, the one, of course, would be the aspiring pawn, who is minimal threat. If you have another reinforcement card, then the only damage I'm dealing you is not significant. That's a real issue. So what's your best play? Do you attack the aspiring pawn and try to deal breakthrough?
I would like to deal some breakthrough. I could use some breakthrough.
I have to make it so that you get stunned back. If I make it so you get stunned back on every attack, and you don't deal me a metric F-ton of breakthrough, I will defeat you. Because the cumulative total of your 3 primary characters that are likely to be engaged in combat is 12. So to achieve that, I have to form like this, and then I use rook control to go like that, and then I fire Adrian Chase on Maxwell Lord. So that you have to go through more prickly characters.
I see.
Including one that is guaranteed to stun back any and all characters you use on. What are the variable costs among your resources, by the way?
Still 2. Did not get to more than 2.
He's actually going to target. That's so interesting. I can pump Graziella's attack on defense. She's the only one I can pump on defense because of her power. I can get her without anything else up to 8. So who do I use Adrian Chase on? I thought that was obvious, and now I'm not so sure. I think it's still probably Maxwell Lord because it just prevents the team attack. You'll have to do it more. Yep, alright, Maxwell Lord, we'll stick to that. For the sake of our own sanity. As a reminder, the only thing that's on the board, there's 2 things that are on the board that affect stats. On defense. I'm going to assume that for the most part I'm going to end up exhausted. Brother Eye's only on offense. This I can activate to give defenders with range in my support row +1 defense, which does include both of my support row characters. And I can exhaust locations to give her 1 attack which lasts for the turn. And she's +2 defense.
Cross chatter's a little loud.
Dear, can you turn down your video a little bit? If you want to watch videos on my phone, you can. And use the cool headphones. What do you want to do, hon? Rachel? Can you turn down your video a little bit or use some headphones, please? You can watch videos on my phone if you want. And use the fancy headphones.
Who did you target with Adrian Chase?
Maxwell Lord. I just
Maxwell
decided.
Lord. Okay.
So yeah, there's a lot of stat modification going on. I just wanted to make sure you had it all. +2 defense from this. I can pump her attack at will for exhausting locations. I can give those two both +1 defense while defending, and I can boost my attack by a gajillion, which may matter if you leave it. You probably won't, but you might. A lot of pieces. It's like I'm playing chess over here.
So I do choose to fire the Riddler's power. I wish I didn't. Oh, man, this is suboptimal. Alright, I choose to fire the Riddler's power.
I'm with you so far.
I'm firing the Riddler's power. The Riddler's power is
Noted.
fired.
Card of
I
random.
will exhaust Maxwell Lord. The random card I lost is also a valuable one, but the less valuable one.
You clearly discard your other card then.
I will exhaust the remaining two characters.
It's hard to do anything when you keep exhausting my entire team.
I'm sorry. I can't do that yet.
That's bizarre, almost beyond belief.
I attack
What?
with Charax's Adrian Chase.
Okay.
And I boost his attack by 2.
My defense is 6. That would put you at 1 higher than my defense.
Yes.
Right. Yeah, that's an interesting play. Not a bad one, actually. So I will activate this to give myself +1 defense for both of them for the turn. Support row defenders. I will then flip up. Threat neutralize. Target checkmate character you control gets +1/+1 this turn. I will choose Adrian Chase. Ongoing, if a card would be put in the K pile from play, instead remove it from the game, which is my defense against him.
Okay. So your defense is
1 ahead of yours.
my attack.
Correct.
Alright. And then I reveal that I have Blackgate Prison. Activate, discard a card at random, target Arkham Inmates attacker or defender. You control gets +3 attack, this attack.
+3 attack. Discard a card at random. +3 attack. So that's gonna be enough to work. Cool.
Then I return Crime Doctor to my hand and exhaust the remaining characters.
Yeah, I suppose I can. I guess Sharks is a new breakthrough.
not
anyway.
new breakthrough.
Yeah. So I take 4 from that, and he is KO'd. And he's exhausted as well. Yeah. I mean, I can't.
You've pushed me into playing the longer game,
Yep.
which is not good for me.
Yeah. But you got rid of another character. Yeah. I guess you have to pass then, don't you?
Yep.
Interesting.
I'm not meant to get this far either, so this is
This is all
kind
kinds of strange.
kind of a crazy development.
Right.
I don't have characters that cost more than 5.
So I drew a useful card in that it is a character search. I will discard another Graziola Reza to search for a checkmate character. And let's see if I can come up with something cool. Who doth I want? Turn 9? I know who I want. Are we on turn 9?
Yes, we are.
Okay. I'm going to search for Roy Harper.
You would.
I'm actually in a good position because of that search. I think I've got a strong advantage. But not without a heck of a fight. Of course, you could have like a 9 drop or something that would perhaps change my tune. So I have searched. It is my initiative. I'm going to recruit Roy Harper and Harry Stein. Roy Harper, as you may recall, exhausts 2 locations I control, and that gives him 1 attack. I can activate a KO resource I control as well to do stuff, to damage an attacker. Harry Stein is also another, if he goes in the KO power from play, I lose the game, but he also gives knight characters I control +1/+1, which is these 3. So I'm going to represent that with the yellow counters, just so we know that if he's stunned, it goes away.
I think I've probably run out of things I can do to stay in this game, but I'll be recruiting Crime Doctor and
So I still don't have flight.
Clayface, whom I may recruit from my Kawood pile, and that is his only power.
That is not a bad power. Not a bad power at all. Yeah, I mean, I feel like I did good there with that recruit, but I am not... This is not a slam dunk at all. You're going to be able to exhaust a good chunk of my team.
I don't think I can get to next turn, though, which is... I think I'm... If
if we go
I
to
could
next
get to
turn,
next
you
turn,
got
I
it, yeah.
might be able to swing it.
I
But
don't
I
think
don't
yeah,
think I
I
can.
don't think you can
And
exhaust
I think you're going to
enough.
have a little bit of life left, and I will
Yeah,
not at the end of
yeah.
this turn. But we'll see. We'll see how it goes.
It's going to be interesting. So,
I got some stuff.
yeah.
You also got some stuff.
Yeah. So I mean, the correct opening play is to attack Riddler.
It's pretty good.
Because his defense is low enough, his attack is low enough. That it's got to be him, because it also removes an exhaust from the table. And I think we're gonna do what we did. I apologize. This is not exhausted. I don't think that will matter. In fact, none of my locations are exhausted because the turn just started. That could matter because I can exhaust them for Graziello. So my 2 options are I remove Riddler, or I try to go really big just to remove your attack from the table. I think I would get counters to it, and I don't like that. So then what is my best safe attack?
Do you have continuous defense pump on the board?
The only defense pump I have
This has been a big game.
It has become a big game. I have the ability on the board to increase the defense of my support row characters with range, which is both, by 1.
1 each, okay.
And that is my only defensive property, unless these 2 boost my defense.
Okay.
Oh, interesting. Maybe I attack you with the aspiring pawn.
Really?
That's probably the correct play. Because if you have another scree, the aspiring pawn is my biggest weakness.
Could be. Could be.
So I think I have to get my aspiring pawn stunned on Riddler. So I'll attack Riddler. My attack is 4,
Right.
and this is the attack I use Brother on, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, plus 5. My attack is 9.
God, 9 is a math number.
I don't like that.
Ah, Kyle.
What have I done?
Kyle.
That's really interesting. This freaking aspiring pawn somehow has not died. I feel like I've done something wrong. Why is that aspiring pawn not dead? I guess I've made him prickly with Adrian Chase a couple of turns. So you couldn't really go after him.
I can't believe it's not butter. How big is Graziella Reza?
Her defense is +2 from the knight armor. If she's attacking, it's plus
Give me
an additional
numbers.
2.
Don't tell me math.
Okay.
Tell me the numbers.
So, 8 is her defense on defense.
I want to know both of her numbers.
Both of her numbers. She is, as printed for attack, 8 on defense, but every location I exhaust can give her an additional 1 attack at any time.
A 4 additional unexhausted locations?
That is correct. Though one of them does serve another purpose. Arguably, 2 of them serve different purposes.
God, this is so weird.
I agree. This is why we play I'm glad we're playing Checkmate early, because Checkmate's exhausting.
I can't believe that I need to play all locked up to prevent 2 breakthrough.
Interesting. That's... You have run some numbers, sir. Yeah.
I will take 4.
And I do take 1. I suppose he has those still. 12. All locked up for 2. You gotta have another one of those stupid things.
I return Crime Doctor to my hand to exhaust your front row. That is correct. You guessed that.
Makes sense.
And I attack Harry Stein with Char Axis.
Harry Stein, yes.
And I boost his attack by... He's 8. I boost his attack by... Do I have to do both here? I may. Hold that thought.
Hold on.
Oh, man. This is insane. Alright. So that's... Everything just happened up to that point. I don't yet declare an attack.
I'm with you.
I discard Crime Doctor to draw a card. Okay. I'm more comfortable with this. Now...
Oh, I see.
Now I attack Harry Stein with Char Axis, and
Okay.
I both give him +2 attack and +3 attack.
So
Discard a card.
I will make an observation, and you can do this, but I'll make the observation that unless I do something, and granted I've got 1 defense on the board that I can use, you can get him with just
You'd
for
have to
3.
activate. Yeah, sure. I'll
So
do
you
just
might-
for
you-
three.
you
You're
may-
right. You're correct.
Yeah,
That's
it's
the
important that I use it, because otherwise I can use it for Graziella, if I so choose. So
I will discard a card at random still, but I will boost my attack.
alright, yeah, I'll see what you discard, and then I'll consider my options from there.
I will too. See what I discard.
50-50, I get the one you didn't want to lose.
That's true.
I'm going to select this card to get rid of.
This card is all locked up. That is a very useful card to have just lost.
So then, does that affect my desire? Now, you actually have, in attacking with your axis, removed your liability as well. So, if I do not give myself 1 defense, can you use that attack on attack or defense?
Yes. No, not this one. This one, yes.
So, if I attack with Graziella, I can boost her attack by 4. That is, by itself, not enough to get your dude. Your dudes are pretty big. Dudes are pretty big. So then, the correct choice... That's so interesting. Oh no, but if I do that... We might go to next turn. You could just pass. Oh no! Oh. Huh.
Did I do it right? I hope I did it right. I tried so hard to do it right.
My goodness. You did have to use all locked up for 2.
I did.
Oh my word. Now it is worth noting that, I mean, I'd probably finally lose the aspiring pawn. So now I'm going to ask another strange question. Is there a distinct advantage to me foiling this attack? Maybe. If I can somehow foil the attack, I might be able to team attack. Alright, so the first thing that happens is I'm going to boost my defense by 1.
Mm-hmm.
Now I am over you.
Okay, and then I use Striker's Island
Right.
for 2. It's still just
Correct.
2. I have 8 resources face up, and they are, among them, only 2 costs.
So I do have another nightmare scenario to give myself +2/+2 if I exhaust a location, which I will do.
Well, that will probably swing the game. So I am stunned and you are not. I will take 3. Yeah, there's
And
literally
then I
nothing
take
to attack.
a character.
Yep. My follow-up is uninteresting.
I mean, you'll get an attack.
I can attack, but it's a trade.
Yep. So I go
I
for.
don't even do a breakthrough.
I go for Catwoman only affects
Catwoman,
defenders.
I can't do breakthrough. Yes, that's correct.
So I go for her.
I will counter stun.
You can get stunned.
Yeah, him. I'm a -4.
And I do take 4, and I'm at 8.
And may as well go for Roy.
Can't do anything. Yeah, you're right, because these are gone because you stunned Harry. So you can get me exactly.
And not get counter stun.
And not get.
You can exhaust locations.
I can
for it,
exhaust
yeah.
2 locations to give myself +1 attack, which is exactly what I have. I'll do it.
I'll take 5.
I'll also take 5 and I'm at 3.
Yep, that's kind of how I expected it to go. That almost worked, though.
Well, you weren't kidding. My last card was another Graziella Reza, so I was out of stuff.
I don't know if I would have been in a better position, but I was like, oh, just a second.
Boy, that blew my mind. I mean, I was not ready.
Let's take a look.
Did I have anything else? Nope. No, I did not.
I
have
would
anything
not
else.
have been... The important thing is I would not have been able to get both the Riddler and Crime Doctor back into my...
Right. So you would have lost some exhaust.
So I would have had Crime Doctor,
Right.
but not the Riddler, and whatever you accrued, then you're overwhelming me.
Boy, that you mapped that well, though. That when, like, I was working through that, and then I'm like, and then we go to next turn. That's not what I want. Well, and then there was like, Graziella could get up to 9 attack exactly, which was enough to get Catwoman, but I had nothing else. If you had even a power up, so I couldn't bank on that. The safer choice was to try the foil, because even if that fails, then we go to next turn. But if Graziella attacks and fails, it might be game over for me. So I had to put all my eggs in the defensive basket and hope that I could stay just 1 measly attack ahead of you. And I barely did. I'm glad that became a good game. That was a strange starter. And I want to point out, I mean, I don't know how many, if you have bigger characters in that deck.
No, they stop at 5.
So do I. It was very weird because we both...
But I have 2 5-drops. Do you?
I do.
You
I
two
have...
5-drops, right?
well, they were actually both out at the end. It was Maxwell Lord and Roy Harper.
Yeah.
But that is weird. Like, we just played a game that went to turn 9.
Yep.
With
Almost
decks,
10. Very close to 10.
Very close to 10.
With decks
1
that stop-
attack / defense from getting to 10. And... I played literally every card I had at my disposal except I had a single resource that was Graziella that couldn't be used for anything. And both our decks capped at 5. I have no 6s or higher in this deck. It is 100% 5 and less. And we both missed stuff and we're searching for early drops. Boy, that was weird.
Yep. Well, that's why this is a good system. Versus system is a good system.
When you play it incorrectly, especially.
Especially incorrectly.
Especially incorrectly.
Man, it's super warm in here, Kyle.
Oh yeah,
you
we
sure
can
you
just
need the
turn
heat
that
to
off.
be
No,
running?
that can go off. I actually meant to turn it off.
Oh, what's next here?
Oh, pick a front or back.
Front.
Front is.
Oops, I didn't even cross this deck off. I should do that.
Front is A. A tier deck.
Front is a A.
My front is an A. Boy, checkmate. Who doggies? I'm gonna get myself a sip of water. Would you like a sip of water?
Yeah, I'll just fill up my bottle.
You want
We're
me
gonna
to
take a
do
break. That was an exhausting game.
Yeah, sure.
We're both gonna step away from the stream for 30 seconds.
Yeah. You know, the kitchen is not so far from the. Yeah. Boy, if I didn't need a nap previously, let's go for it. I sure need a nap now. I really like OG Checkmate, but that game didn't play like OG Checkmate. That was just strange.
Well, the problem with your deck is a rush deck and a power burst deck.
Yep. And it's much more
This
offensive.
is very informative about how my deck plays because your deck was a low-cost deck, and it is kind of on curve up to 5, but it is not a typical curve deck, my KOing your characters is less valuable. So I was stalling to
Oh, that's interesting.
disruption that didn't happen.
Right. No, it's sort of an interesting point. By not having on curves, we had that one. I think my favorite turn was the one where you recruited a 4 and a 2, and then I recruited a 4 and a 2. That was just eminently novel to me.
These they. Show me your moose.
Show me your
What
moose.
is that?
Wise words.
It's just a little cramped in there. My knees. Funny game.
That was very interesting. I really thought, like, there was one turn where I'm like, okay.
And it's another one of those, like, and it wasn't unpleasant because I got to make really, really cool
Yeah,
plays
yeah,
and
yeah.
to stay in the game. But
No, you did some
like,
amazing stuff.
It was like 5 turns. I'm like, I'm very slowly losing this game. Like I see it. Like I'm behind. I'm
man.
not, and I'm trickling like just a little trickle every turn. I'm
It-
getting
it
a little
wa-
more behind.
It was very little, but I think it was little enough that, like, I started to get the advantage around 7 or 8. Like, it was quite a ways into the game before I was starting to feel like I was getting advantage, but it was never a safe advantage.
and I made.
I was very worried on it.
I think I chose. I really do think I chose 5 times to be like, well, this isn't my moment.
Right.
So we're just gonna wait.
Yeah. No.
And look for the better moment, and the better moment never came.
Yeah. No. I think. Yeah, I think like on turn 8, I did have a 5-drop and a 4-drop, and I thought for a long time if I recruited Harry Stein to boost my knight characters by 1, or if I just recruited the bigger character, and it was kind of a toss-up. But then I did luck out on a top deck on
I think
the final
you
turn
should
to
have.
search.
When you searched for, was it that turn or the turn previous? You did a search.
I did search
I
on the
think
final
you-
turn.
I think you should have gotten your 4-drop again.
Adrian.
Your 4-drop was causing me way more problem than did the stats.
I mean, part of the reason that I. Part of the reason
It cuts
I
a lot
didn't-
of options off the table for me.
Yeah, it's
Like it
true.
literally halves my options.
But I do have to. He's not responsive, so I have to always declare him in the formation stage. And we were reaching a point where the life totals were low enough. I was worried that you could pick around whoever I targeted with him,
Right.
and it would do me in, because picking the right
But I didn't
character
have.
for him
Well,
is not easy.
maybe you didn't observe, but
Those
I
didn't
didn't have
feel that
flight either, so you could direct my attacking a lot. My flight is mostly from the power armor, which I lost very early.
Right. Well, funny. Mine comes from the tricked out sports car, which I lost very early. I guess I didn't think about that much because it was always my mindset. Well, I'm going to be exhausted anyway, so you still have to fight through the front row, but you can kind of do it on your terms. You should have a cookie.
I'm having cookies. I might have more than one cookie.
I should have one cookie. Dear, do you want a
Okay.
cookie?
Okay.
The hell, I'll have 2. I'm a big spender today. That's 3. No. I can.
Don't pull cookies back. That's not get to
She
cookie.
wants that one.
No, that is your cookie.
Yeah,
Now
you
she
want
gets
one?
these cookies.
Oh, I see. How many cookies are there?
Uh-huh.
That's the expression of many cookies.
4.
All right.
Roll your die. Okay. Roll.
I'm gonna cut your deck instead. That'll show you. I'm gonna shove your cards all over the place. Yeah. Yeah, we'll go odds. No, we won't go odds. We'll go inner die this time.
You have one.
Inner die's doing good tonight.
Now that's interesting. What is this? This is wrong. I picked the wrong deck. Yeah, sorry. Moment. I need to readjust.
No worries. I will go. I'll give me time to think about what I want to go.
Where are you? Correct deck. That must be you. That's you.
I'm gonna go evens.
I must reshuffle because I have a different deck.
Indeed. Chocolate is tasty.
Chocolate is tasty. I'm glad Chris got to see that game. He said it was crazy.
Yeah, that was a really engaging game. I was very engaged the whole way. There was one point when I was worried. It was really funny because when we did that reset early on, we screwed up that one turn. And I think we reset it properly. Like, I feel pretty good about that reset. Now, that's another purple sleeve deck. Is that what threw
That's
you
why
off?
I was confused. So far tonight, we have been all purple.
True. Oh, my.
Now, this looks very similar, but I promise it's a different deck.
I'm going to keep. That's weird. Yeah.
I think I just straight up drew 6 cards without considering whether I wanted a mulligan, but it's a pretty good hand, so.
Fair enough. I did go even, so you actually have dibs.
Okay, my initiative is thus. I don't know what's that wrong with me tonight. Harlequin has the power. I may discard her from my hand for some stuff. I may also activate her, and target Arkham Inmates defender I control has reinforcement this attack.
I have dagger.
Harlequin will attack Dagger, but what does she do?
I can discard her to search for a card named Midnight Suns. Also, I can activate her to return her to my hand.
Okay, I will attack her.
One's apiece. Okay, that's just odd.
Need to be doing a little better than this.
I am going to activate her and discard her to search for Midnight Suns.
Oh, well, this is not the deck I expected then.
There it is.
That actually affords me an opportunity that you will dislike.
Fair enough. Midnight Suns, for what it's worth, is a team-up. This is an odd draw. You cut?
Mm-hmm.
I do.
This is not.
Being evens, I'm going to recruit Iron Fist. Iron Fist, when he comes into play, if I control a character named Luke Cage, he gets some counters. Otherwise, he's just 3/2 with Concealed.
Okay. I'm going to recruit Two-Face. Two-Face's power is activate a flip a coin.
A flip a coin.
A flip a coin. If you win the flip, KO target stun character. I will, of course, be rolling a d6 when I choose to flip a coin, which will probably not come up very often. And if it is evens, I will KO a character.
Evens. I'm going to attack Two-Face for 3.
I will take 3. I believe you will be counterstunned.
I will. I take 2.
I'm actually going to exhaust Harlequin to play Riddle Me This, which I may do only during my attack step. Exhaust already Arkham Inmates character you control. If you do, target player reveals 2 cards from his hand. Choose one of the cards. That player discards that card. I will choose one of the 2 cards that you have revealed that are identical. I'm sorry, I was reading Chris's text. He's talking about his D&D games as well.
Right on. Oh, that's interesting. Hi. Right.
That's not what you want.
It is your initiative.
I'm
I too am informed.
Well, that's unusual. I didn't have a plan for this, Kyle.
Yeah. That'll show you.
I think I just tagged you for 2 with Two-Face.
Yeah, it's not terrible. I'm gonna take the 2. Good job.
Yay.
Attack Harlequin for
Alright.
3.
I will reinforce her.
Curses! Still through my plan. This game is enthralling.
Well, the last one started kind of like this.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Do.
Is it my initiative?
It is mine.
Okay.
I think
I
you
did-
actually have a choice.
I thought so.
I don't love it. I don't love the choice.
The card you discard was also... Iron Fist.
A lot of Iron Fist. I'm going to recruit the Masked Marauder. Whenever Masked Marauder becomes stunned, I must KO him if I don't control another Crime Lord's character. I am, however, teamed up between Marvel Knights and Crime Lords. I may also pay 3 endurance to exhaust target character. Use this power only during my attack step. I can do that any number of times. That's crazy. Only during my attack step. I can exhaust characters for 3 endurance a pop.
Doesn't seem right. That's so good.
I mean, only my attack step, 3 a pop.
And any character? Like, you can stop
Yeah, that's
reinforcement
really
with that.
crazy.
Like, something's amiss.
That's pretty nutty. I never realized that before. I mean, am I missing something?
I will read.
I do have to pay to do it, and his stats are
Yeah.
average, but...
I mean, but
That's good.
That's a way below average stats power.
Yeah, that's true.
Whenever Mass Marauder becomes stunned, KO him if you don't control another Crime Lord's character. Pay 3 endurance, exhaust target character. Use this power only during your attack step. Yes, you can do it infinity times.
Just as long
That's
as
a
it's my attack
really
step.
good character.
Pretty legit.
I
I always had assumed it was once per turn until I read it out loud right there.
Yeah. Yep. So I will recruit Poison Ivy. That encourages me to form differently. Poison Ivy's power is whenever Poison Ivy stuns a character, if that character would be recovered this turn, instead that character is not KO'd, is not recovered this turn, and cannot be KO'd during the recovery phase this turn. Now that's also a good power, but Poison Ivy has below average
Does have
stats.
-1 for her stats and not range.
And I think that it is not as good a power.
Yeah. It's interesting. Can she can team attack though, right?
Yes.
Two faces evens to KO. How do I do this? Whenever she stuns anyone, or just a defender?
Character. Yes.
So I think I will. That's terrible. It's funny.
I don't see how this is terrible. Like, I'm just going to take a lot of beating this turn and can do nothing about it. It seems like.
Yeah.
I miss the terrible.
Yeah. There may be things of which you are not aware. Yeah, I think this is just a. This is my initiative too.
I don't understand. Do something so it's clear.
All right, I will attack Poison Ivy with Mass Marauder.
Okay. I'm stunned. I will take 4.
And I don't think I fire him a power. Which comes with some risk, I suppose, but...
I will pass.
Yeah, I'm just going to attack Harlequin for 3.
She'll reinforce herself. It was pretty rough one-sided turn.
Yeah, yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
Stop. Now you're just being silly. I've got Killer Croc, whose power is whenever Killer Croc attacks a character, Killer Croc gets plus X attack, where X is the cost of the character.
Alright. That's going to hurt this turn. I am going to recruit Elektra. Big damn Elektra. Elektra has loyalty, and also she's effectively got dual loyalty, which the conditions are met at this point. She's concealed, required, and has a boost that I'm not paying right now because I don't have enough resource points, but she's big.
Well,
Oh, that's rude. I'm going to take a good amount of damage this turn, but you will also hopefully take a good amount of damage. That's the goal.
I'm going to attack the Masked Marauder with Killer Croc
Yeah.
for 11. Nom nom.
Yeah. I am going to flip up Made Men. It's an ongoing plot twist. It says exhaust a character you control. Affiliated characters you control can attack as though, that's interesting, as though they had flight this turn and gain the Crime Lord's affiliation this turn. I'll exhaust Mass Marauder to give the characters as though they had flight.
Okay.
And then that's going to work. So your Nom Nom is
For 11 attack.
11. Take 4 breakthrough and 4 physical. And we will see if you get evens. Mayhaps.
Not yet. Any time, I think.
That's probably true.
Not yet.
Probably
Tempting,
true.
but not yet.
Yeah. I mean, I just got to go for big damage. So I'm going to attack as though I had flight and go for 2-face.
Two-face, okay. Now is the time.
Yep.
I will attempt to KO Masked Marauder. Come on, even stupid exhaust powers. Fudge.
He survives.
Good
heads. I got good heads.
I will play Paralyzing Kiss, which I may only do if I control 5 or less resources. Characters cause no breakthrough while attacking Arkham Inmates characters this turn.
Yep. That was fun.
Attack for 6.
It's gonna work. Guess I get to keep the Mass Marauder, but I sure would have liked to deal you 14 damage. I'm not gonna do anything with Iron Fist. He's just gonna chill.
There's something useful that you will hate.
Aw. I hate that.
I know.
I'm gonna recruit Luke Cage. He's got the affiliations of everybody else I got in play. And he's big.
He's quite big.
So that is what this deck does. Not much, except they're big. Except Mass Marauder, who's average and a jerk.
I hate that you can just exhaust my team. That's so good. Like, I don't... If you decide so, I don't get to act this turn.
I mean, it would cost me, if you recruit a character, 12 life to do that.
It's 3 apiece?
3 apiece. 9 life plus whoever I target.
I mean, no, not really, because you don't need to take 2 face off the table.
Sure.
6 at most.
It depends what you recruit.
Yeah, so I've got another paralyzing kiss there.
Thought you might.
But this is my last opportunity to play if I continue to play resources, which I probably should.
Seems reasonable.
I also have Mr. Freeze. Whenever Mr. Freeze attacks a character or is attacked by a character, that character cannot ready this turn.
Attacks or is attacked. Right.
Oh, and I did in fact play a resource. That was a mistake.
Right.
Should attack the Joker.
I think so. I can't do a breakthrough against anyone on your team, right?
Correct.
Okay. Yeah, I think Luke Cage is going to attack Killer Croc. And I will pay only 3 to exhaust Mr. Freeze.
Alright, I'll do 5.
Die the 3.
Throw a resource on the floor.
Yeah, that's fair.
As an additional cost to flip No Man's Land, discard an Arkham character card from your hand. Activate exhaust target unprotected character. Uses power only during your attack step. I would exhaust Elektra.
Yeah. That's legit.
And I will exhaust Poison Ivy to play another paralyzing or whatever. Riddle me this.
Oh, it's I show you 2 and you pick one.
Yeah. Do I want to do that? Hang on a second. There is another thing I may be.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
So let's not do that yet.
Yeah.
Let's not do it.
I'm with you.
Okay, let's do it.
Right, so I will show you Iron Fist and Luke Cage.
Luke Cage, please.
Haha, you fell into my trap. It's fine. Don't worry about it.
That's it.
Yeah, well, I gotta see if this play works again. Attack Poison Ivy.
Take 4.
Technically not. Yeah, I suppose it's gonna be Croc. And
Mr. Fist.
yeah, you're gonna attack Two-Face.
Take 2.
I also 2. And
Dumb character. I wouldn't have played No Man's Land if you didn't have that dumb character.
that's fair. 30.
Well, that's not a good thing to have happened. That's a dick move. Maybe I'm due.
It is your initiative, right?
Mm-hmm. Actually, this is what I have to do, and that's kind of goofy. Yep. Can I even? Can I even, Kyle?
That is a question to which I do not know the answer.
It's costly. Keeps me in the game, though. Yeah, so I do play this. I do not this.
Okay.
And some stuff. Okay, that makes sense. I recruit Charaxis.
Oh, God.
That's it.
I mean, him and No Man's Land is a serious combo. I don't like that. Okay. I'm going to recruit Bullseye. When he comes into play, KO him unless you discard a plot twist card or location card. Discard a plot twist. I'll also recruit Iron Fist. And since I control Luke Cage, he gets 3 counters. I don't know if I've ever fired that. That's just his power. When he enters play, if I already got Luke Cage, 3 counters. And then might be it.
Well,
So I'm going to hope I can surprise you with one thing, because you're almost certainly going to do one thing. And I'm going to hope I'm going to do one thing back, and then one of us will rage quit.
I'm going to apologize because I'm going to be unpleasant because I feel like I'm not going to be in this game if I don't. I'm going to do things that are dumb.
I accept, I suppose.
I'm going to exhaust Elektra. Then I'm going to reveal that I have another No Man's Land. I'm going to discard Great Echo, and I'm going to exhaust Luke Cage.
Sure. That's good. That's a good play.
And then, I'm not done. I'm going to play Fear and Confusion,
Am I?
which says, while attacking this turn, characters I control get +1 attack. And whenever an Arkham Inmates character you control attacks a character this turn, exhaust that character.
Oh my.
Then I'm going to attack your stupid 4-drop who I hate with Charaxis. And then I'm going to play Arkham Asylum. It has 2 powers, one of which is Activate, return target stunned Arkham Inmates character you control to owner's hand, and the other is Activate, target Arkham Inmates attacker you control gets +2 attack while attacking an exhausted character.
Right. Right. So I am exhausted. That happens immediately. And then you utilize that.
My attack is boosted by 3.
By 3. 2 from that.
This and 1 from the Fear and Confusion.
Oh, Fear and Confusion. So, maybe a technical call here. So, Fear and Confusion says when you attack a character, they are exhausted. At the point of that exhaustion, I guess that's, so at the point at which I become a defender, you become an attacker, and that effect goes on the chain. Does that sound like an accurate assessment?
That's correct. You can interrupt it, you can exhaust him for something.
So I am going to exhaust him for something. Boy, I am going to take some beats this turn. But I've got to try and not lose the dudes. Because I need the dudes. This might affect whether or not you play your location.
So we can withhold that for now if you want.
I'm going to play Drive-by Shooting. Exhaust any number of Crime Lord's characters with range you control. Target character gets +2 defense this attack for each character you exhausted in this way. So the question is, do I exhaust only Masked Marauder to boost his own defense, or do I also exhaust Bullseye for an additional 2?
It's the difference between a stun and KO and not a stun and KO.
There's a difference between 9 defense that I have and 11.
Oh, it's 2 per.
It's 2 per.
Oh, that's super good.
So 1 is 1 over, which is tight, but because it's a plot twist, of course, if you are able to get more than just the location, and I do not have additional plays, that would put me at severe risk. So the question is, do I think I can do something useful with Bullseye? Price for failure is not trivial. How many cards in your hand?
2.
Alright, we're gonna make it just 2. I will save Bullseye.
Cool. Then I won't play the thing.
And can that be used on attack or defense?
Nope.
So I'm still gonna take some baits. Baits? Beats. So I do get the counter stun. Still gonna take some beats. Can make it all reduced beats. I think I just team attack rock. All characters engaged in combat with Mr. Freeze can't ready.
Correct.
Yeah. Got a team attack rock.
I almost done your 2-drop. We'll activate this to return turn access to my hand.
You do not attack with Mr. Freeze.
I suppose I should hit Bullseye.
I would attack Bullseye. That makes more sense.
Yeah, sorry.
No, it's okay. I could have shenanigans, but I need a lot of shenanigans to address your 13 defense or 11 attack. So that will work. I am stunned and take 3 breakthrough for 7, putting me at 17. And he cannot ready this turn, so I'll just recall that. Oh, I must lose Iron Fist or Bullseye. I probably lose Bullseye because he's in that already. And I need ready characters. Okay. Yep. I think it's your initiative. Turn 7's the U, isn't it? Oh no,
It's 8.
we're on 8. We're on 8. It is my initiative. Cool. So, I am going to play. I don't know who I'm searching for yet. It's a very interesting search. Search your deck for Marvel Knights character card, reveal, put it into your hand. Lose endurance equal to that card's cost.
Woof.
So I need to think about this very carefully.
I just finished reading that card. I was about to concede.
Yep.
Makes it slightly, but not really closer.
I mean, you got a big life advantage on me.
I don't. I have 5 life.
F5, 5. Well, it's about to get a lot bigger
That's
if I
true.
search for some.
That's true.
I think I know who I want. It's not Stiltman. Fuck you, Stiltman. It's Kingpin. I take 7 damage.
A predictably unsatisfying game with the vanilla Arkham.
That is unfortunate.
Although I did miss 3 turns of drops.
You missed 7.
I missed 7 and 8.
Oh, 7 and 8.
And 3.
Yep. We are missing a lot of drops tonight. There have been some. I missed 3 in the last game, and I think 2 in this game. Because I didn't have 7 either. I played a 2 and a 4 on that turn.
And the matchup with your stupid character and my character with the below average stats just meant recruiting my foreground. I just got stunned and didn't do anything for 2 turns.
So the thing that the reason there was a lot of sort of trepidation, and of course it's one of those things where I don't know what you've got at your disposal, but I had no stat pumps for most of those attacks. So it's my 7/7 attacking your 6/7. So if you have a power up, I lose the exchange, bounce, and the game is rolled in the other direction. So I was very nervous about it every time. But I obviously had to keep pressing, because if I didn't, then that would give you opportunity to build up, and I didn't want that either.
Nah, I don't have characters in this deck, apparently.
Fair enough.
So that was a very bad game. I suppose that made up for our first game. This is our final game, an S tier.
It is. It is.
Very well. Those usually make for good games.
They often do. I'm going to glance at this because I don't remember precisely what they're supposed to do.
I feel like I played that deck before. I think I'm being lax about crossing them out.
I accept.
Which means the actual deck I'm supposed to play are these guys.
Right. I do know.
Whom I should cross out.
That's true. That's true. We'll figure this out. That's kind of lol. Lols indeed. Yeah, I do think that guy benefits from the from our rule set, because he's one that, like, if on your initiative in the older rule set you could chip away at and get through to under almost any circumstance, but in this case I almost invariably get that opportunity. So he's like a
he's the type, but the power he has, like, exhausting your team to prevent attack is obnoxious. The power he has is all of my characters deal breakthrough without special circumstance, right?
Sure. Yeah, which admittedly I think I only exhausted. Did I only exhaust one character that game? I mean, the threat of it was there.
True.
The threat was there, but it's always. He's definitely like a get ahead character a little bit, like if or stay ahead, because if I'm ahead I can afford to pay the life and then break even on those exchanges. But there were several times where I'm like, well, I could exhaust characters and it actually is a net loss to me, because I'm losing 3 life every time. I think he probably is strong. I think it would have been correct to just make him cost 4 life, and that probably would have been enough to make him balanced out. But at 3 life, he's a little on the strong side. And exhaust is always a pain to play against. I really do empathize with that grievance. Like, any form of playing, it's why I complain about No Man's Land, it's why I complain about Crime Backers, it's why I complain about
I would have
Legionnaires.
preferred about, like, he just had lower stats, that's all.
Sure.
Like, cool power, sure,
Yeah.
not appropriate stats.
Yeah, yeah. Yep, that's also fair. That could have done it as well. Just drop a point off his attack, for example. Really struggle with that. We will go the outer die this time, because I'm feeling like Inner can't win 3 times in a row.
Okay.
Outer. Can't see.
You have 1.
There's a 1 in there?
There is a 1 in there.
My word. Sweet.
Aw, that's good and that's good.
I'm going to go odds.
Do I have to keep it then? Because that's good and that's good?
Maybe. You got 2 good cards. That's always the... We're going to... For the record, I'm not going to keep. We're getting the heck rid of that. Come on, deck.
We gotta throw that out. That's too bad.
That's
There were some
better.
things in there I would have liked. Alright. That was way the right choice.
Right.
Turns out.
Turns out. So we're gonna do that. And I'm gonna recruit Adam Smasher. I can activate him to give him a 1/1 counter.
I'm going to recruit Terry Sloan, Mr. Terrific, whose power is exhausted characters you control get +1/+1 while in combat with a character of greater cost.
I'm going to give myself a counter.
Okay. I'm going to pass.
Sweet.
Oh, dear. Interesting.
It's now your initiative.
Oh, wow. I didn't even notice that. That's super good. I'll be recruiting the Emerald Empress, whose power is whenever the Emerald Empress stuns a character an opponent controls, recover that character. This power triggers only once per turn. She has a boost I will not be paying. I am not finished. I'm going to do several other things.
Oh my. With your 0 resource points and 2 resources?
Yeah. I'm going to recruit a T-Spheres, which costs 1 less to recruit while I control a JSA character. Equipped character gets +3/+3 while in combat with a character with greater cost.
Right.
I will choose the Emerald Empress. Actually, it makes no sense to recruit the T-Spheres. I will not be doing
You'll hold.
I will not be doing any of the other crazy stuff I was going to do.
Right on.
I recruit the Emerald Empress, who has that power that I said.
Right. I'm with you. It's all sorts of other things that you did. I'm going to recruit Kate Spencer Manhunter. Characters I control get +1 attack while attacking a character with greater cost. Free. Target hidden character an opponent controls can be attacked by characters you control with lesser cost this turn. Use only once per turn.
This is the mirror match. That's interesting.
So this is going to be strange. I'm already a little uncomfortable.
It'll be a race to the bottom. Who can recruit the cheapest characters?
Boy, I'm alarmed.
Well, I think what I do is attack.
Mm-hmm. Kate Spencer.
Yeah.
What counter any? And I take damage. Which is 2 breakthrough, 2 for the stun, I take 4, and she recovers. That's cool. Gonna be really awkward.
Especially if I keep drawing like this.
I feel that. He's +1/+1 for an exhausted character in combat with someone of greater cost. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. Now I'm forced to think about what I do, including whether or not I even put down a resource.
Resource on turn 2. My oh my. No, that's a lie. You're lying.
It's true. Well, maybe I do that. No. I'm going to recruit
that card.
Not that card.
Oh.
Oddly, I'm going to recruit Rex Tyler, our man. He's a 3/3/3 drop, which is kind of terrifying in this situation. But I can give you 3 life to get +4/+4 this attack. I can only use that once per turn. Boy, am I not happy with various outcomes. If you have that card, you'll recruit that card, and you will recruit that card, and I will be sad. So what does that mean? What does it mean?
Double rainbow.
Whoa. I want to do something with this, but I don't know what it is I want to do. I'm going to recruit to Kate Spencer the Amulet of Naboo. Equipped character can be equipped with any number of fate artifacts, and they get +1/+1 for each fate artifact I control and have flight and range. So we'll do that with her and put her here.
Okay. I'm going to recruit
Yep.
Michael Holt, Mr. Terrific.
I was afraid of that.
Same as Terry Sloan, +2/+2 though. And a T-Spheres. T-Spheres cost 1 less to group while you control a JSA character. Equipped character has +3/+3 while in combat with a character of greater cost. There's 2 more things I'm going to do. Actually,
more?
I guess I don't need to do that now.
So many things. So many things.
Alright, that's it. I'm done.
So many things. Right. So, right. Sure wish I had somebody lower cost than Terry Sloan. It's really annoying. It's even more annoying because Atom Smasher could attack your dude in the back, except he can't because Terry Sloan's in front of him, and that's ridiculous. So how do I deal with this Ebola? It's all terrible.
I think it's all terrific. But I'm
Mr. Terrific. Right. It's terrible. It's just terrible. It's all so terrible. So I am going to target your Mr. Terrific in the back. I'm going to attack him with Kate Spencer herself, who has flight and range courtesy of the Amulet of Naboo. She also gets +1 attack while in combat with a character of greater cost. And 1/1 for the Amulet of Naboo. So I'm going to attack your dude in the back. For 5. I will be counterstuck.
I think it's okay. I think I accept 5, so I take a breakthrough.
Yep, and I'm counterstunned for
I
2.
take 4. Which is this math. I'm getting very tired, pardon me. So I do attack your 3-drop with the Emerald Empress for 8. I'm sorry. I have to do something first. She is not a JSA, so she does not benefit from terrific powers. So I will play Forbidden Loyalties. It is additional cost to play Forbidden Loyalties. Choose 2 team different affiliations among characters you control. Some of those words are in there.
Yep.
You may discard a card. If you do, put a 1/1 counter on target character you control.
I don't like that.
Now I'm attacking you for 9.
Huh. Yeah. Okay, all the eggs. All the eggs. I'm going to flip up Brothers in Arms. An additional cost to play Brothers in Arms. Exhaust a character not in combat, who is JSA, to give a character attack equal to the attack of the exhausted character. That's +3. And then I will give you 3 life to give myself another 4.
Give myself.
So my attack is 10, and my defense 7. Which I believe is enough to get the counter stun.
It is.
At
That
moderate
is true.
cost.
That is true. I guess that's alright. But yeah, you'll still take a bunch of damage, I think.
do. My defense is 7,
I'll take 2.
and your attack was 8?
9. It was 9.
1, I will take.
No, you're right.
5.
It was 8. I think I mathed something wrong there.
No.
It's
You're
4
right.
and 3
T
and
spheres
1 and
is
1.
3.
Okay, it was 9.
Yeah, it was 9. So I took 5. And gave you some life in the process. But I think it's worth it for the double stun. How do you give her counters again? What is that?
That was just a one-shot effect of the team up.
I see. One-shot effect. Okay.
It's not a continuous effect. Well, that's cool, but not super useful. Do I have initiative? You attacked first, so
Yeah,
seems like.
it does seem like.
Yeah, it's kind of a bummer. I just get Michael all day.
It's not terrible. That is not terrible.
I'd like to use all my resources, but beggars can't be choosy.
Right. So. I'm going to play Moment of Crisis from my resource row. Choose an identity. Characters you control gain the chosen identity this turn. I'm going to choose.
It was really smooth. I saw you going for smooth, and then it just went way south.
It just totally derailed. Hawkman. We're going to choose Hawkman. Hawkman seems like a good identity.
Hawkman's here.
If JSA, or rather, if you control a JSA character in Moment of Crisis is in your resource row, draw a card. Then I'm going to play Living Legacy. As an additional cost to play Living Legacy, exhaust a JSA character you control. Search your deck for a card that shares an identity with a character you control. Second from the bottom is Hawkman. Do you mind if I...
No, that's fine.
This Hawkman says, discard a card that shares an identity with an attacker or defender you control. Power up that attacker or defender you control. In addition, whenever he's got an ally power, whenever a character you control becomes powered up, it gets an additional +1 defense.
Okay. Clearly, that is not the way you form.
Might be the way I form.
Really?
Might be the way.
Fascinating.
Yeah, I mean, you can't do much against Atom Smasher. You, you do not have something. You don't have flight? You don't have flight at the moment.
Manhunter's just forever. I say this and it happens. That's kind of annoying. That would be my downfall. I suspect.
Manhunter, sorry.
You have a Manhunter character.
I do have a Manhunter character, yeah. And that Manhunter character is going to get the Cloak of Naboo, which is I can't be targeted of effects, and also +1 defense. And this is now +2/+2. So she is +2/+3.
It's quite ironic that Manhunter is a hard counter to my deck.
That's very weird.
Yeah.
And very not what the plan was, but I'm kind of going with it because it's my best shot.
Well, I just have to wreak havoc while I can, which means I
wreak
hit
havoc.
hard. Yeah. This dude again.
Yeah.
This time it's quite a bit more. It's for 11.
Yeah, that sure is a lot. That sure is a lot. I wish it weren't 11. I think the correct choice is to play the long-term game and give you 3 life to reduce 4 damage from myself. But otherwise, I think I have to eat it. It's not cool. That's a big dude. It's a real big dude. 11, you said?
Mhm.
4 breaks, 7 more damage.
I'm hitting you very hard, but I don't think this is going my way. I will forget to do this, so I'm going to do it now. Play Fatal 500 only if a character caused breakthrough while under your control this turn. Search your deck for a future foe's character card, reveal it, and put it into your hand. I will be
What was the cost for flipping that? Sorry. Was there a cost just to flip it?
I'm sorry. Only if you control, if only a character caused breakthrough while under your control this turn. Don't know if this is a useful thing to do, but I'm going to get mana. It gives me more options.
Yep. I am going to attack. I'm going to free target your hidden dude, and actually, she's not big enough to take out your character because you got a counter on your character, which is unfortunate. I have initiative next time, though. How do I play this? The character's gigantic.
That was the plan.
So I have to decide if I try to go for 2 of your characters at quite a loss to myself. I guess he's technically recovered.
He's still there. Is that +3/+3 for the turn?
His stat bonus is not. It's for the attack.
But he can do it again, hypothetically.
No, I may only use it once per turn.
Fascinating.
So he is an interesting character in that regard. Yes, yes. I'm aware that's not the greatest thing in the world for me. So, all right. Let me think about this.
Take your time. You will need to take your time.
I will need to take my time. Do I position myself a little better for next turn, or just play super aggro? What does that even mean? I feel like I need to keep making Atom Smasher bigger. But I also need him for an attacker if I go that route. So her bounce a character back power, does that happen on her? It was only once per turn. Is that correct?
Yes. So were you to attack her again, it would not fire again.
Right. So, for example, I could attack her with, say, these 2. Her stat boost wouldn't trigger, she'd be stunned, and I could just swing for 8. That's not terrible. But, man, I really think I need to go for better board state somehow. She's still got 9. Alright, Manhunter's going to attack Mr. Terrific in the back. I'm going to pay her free power to attack up against him. I am a 6/5. I'm attacking him.
She can do that infinity times?
Her power is free. Target hidden character. An opponent controls can be attacked by characters you control. Characters with lesser cost this turn. Use only once per turn.
So she targets a character once per turn.
Correct. And then that character is vulnerable to characters of lesser cost.
Yep. Well, it will work again. Sadly. I will take 5. No, I will take 4 again. This feels familiar.
Yep. It is to you. You do have your Pee-wee over there.
I do. If I were to attack with him, it's not much, so I think I just sit.
And it seems likely you'd be counter-stunned, which would be of high cost to you. So then the question is, how do I proceed? You are a 9/9. If you're in combat with a character of your cost.
Yeah, with your 4, yes. 5/5 with your 1.
Unfortunately, that is enough to be higher than my character, so I think I have to team attack you. My attack is 11.
Don't have another Mr. Terrific, Kyle.
I'm trying to make you not have all the Mr. Terrifics. It really matters.
I was done, Hogman.
Yeah, I mean, I take 4. You're bleeding my life. way ahead of the life gain, so I have to hope that I can get a controlled board state before I'm dead, which I might not be able to.
I think I keep her. It's tough though. That's close. That is a close call.
That's so terrifying. Yeah, I know it. Oh, our man, you are going to become a real issue soon. I guess the saving grace is that he's low enough in cost, not all of your characters can leverage that property.
That was also my initiative. So this
True.
turn will hurt you more.
To think about my recruitment a bit carefully. Oh, that's so painful. Does it have to be you? It's probably gotta be
It
you.
has to be you. It has to be you. Oh boy.
Don't love
Oh
that.
boy. Oh boy. Oh boy.
It's got to be. Dang it! Dang it! Dang it! So I guess I took that one dude off the board. So if you don't have another one of him at this precise moment, and I can't 100% rule it out, you are still getting. You're still a 9/9.
If I can exhaust my character.
That's true, which is likely but not certain. And if you don't, you are a 5/5. That's interesting. Yeah, I mean, I got.
I believe the T-spheres always works, right? Or is
It
it one
is
is
also-
exhausted and one is not?
Yeah, T-spheres always works.
Right. And
Um,
terrific is
but they're both up the
exhaust.
chain. Yeah, that's correct.
So it's only a difference of one. The exhaust is not that significant.
Right, right.
You are correct.
Okay, so I'm going to recruit Carter Hall, Hawkman. He gets +1/+1 for each exhausted, non-stunned, non-army character I control.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I mean, sure. It's like formation. I really like the modifications I made to this deck. It's a lot more fun to play now. And there's a thing I screwed up earlier, but I'm like, oh, I didn't do that. But it would have been clever if I did, because this deck has clever things in it now that I screwed up.
I think I go on curve this turn, which is weird.
What?
I'm not supposed to.
You don't do that.
Why not?
You don't go on curve. It's just not what you do.
I have Validus.
Hmm.
Validus has a boost I'm not paying. He also has, whenever he stuns a character, recover that character, and he's quite large.
It's quite large.
So I have a quite large small dude, and I have a quite large dude, and an extraordinarily vulnerable Mr. Terrific.
Well, to be fair, I can't attack him with anyone, and if I target him, I can then attack him only with a character of lesser cost.
Oh, you literally can't attack him. That's interesting.
That's why he was the shield in front of the other guy.
Oh, nice,
Yeah.
nice. That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Hilarious.
Hilarious. How many cards in your hand?
3. Uh-oh. That's not a question.
It's fine. I feel like I should feel like I'm in a great shape right now, but I'm not. I can't quite put my finger on why, except that it's all horrible. I have to do it that way. No, I don't. It's a terrible way. I shouldn't do it that way. Do I do that? Also terrible. Also terrible. God damn. I guess Validus doesn't get bigger, but he is just inherently big, which is annoying.
That's what she said.
It's a reasonable use. So you get 3/3. No, you get 4/4. If you're in combat with a character of greater cost.
I get 4/4 if exhausted. I get
Right,
3/3 in general. I get 4/4 if attacking because it involves exhausting.
So this is how we do it, and it's kind of weird. I'm gonna team attack. Your 2-drop, which is funny, you see, because he gets +3/+3, or I can give him +4/+4, but as printed, that gives you 3/3, which is what he's got for attacking.
All right, so
So he is instantly negated by your defensive property.
What is the combined attack?
It is 9,
9.
which is exactly 1 over. Is it 1 over?
Why is it 9?
3 and 6.
Why is she 6?
Oh, she doesn't get +1 attack because you are not up the chain with her. So that would be 8. Ugh, I like that less. 8 still ties you. Or does it not? Because Mr. Terrific is over there. 8 does not get enough. So if I don't include him, I'm just tied. God, that does not work out well at all. That is
Redo.
not what I was anticipating. I've got to attack her with these two.
And she's 5.
She's 5.
And he's 3.
And he's 3.
That's probably a better attack.
Yup. Yes. It's a weird matchup. There's more. I'm having to play, and I think you two are having to play more tricksy than the deck would normally require because we've got some weird stuff on the table. Freaking Rex Tyler Hourman. So bad to play in this situation, but I did not. I still think it was the right choice, but it was terrible.
I mean, this exchange is going to go a little good for me, but my follow-up is very weak. I'm not stoked about what's going on here.
Fair enough.
I don't know. I don't even know, Kyle. Yeah, it's going to work. I'm going to stun the 2-drop.
Yep.
I will take
Stun
2.
and recover, and I take 2. 6. 6 is how we math that. I'm having to burn most of my stuff. More stuff I'll be burning soon. I suspect.
And Duders is plus, like, he gets enhanced by the Fatal 5 as well. Hawkman. So you have two pretty annoying counters to my deck.
Which one? Sorry, is it the additional boost?
Hawkman, the one that gets, you have one that gets plus X attack for each exhausted character.
That is correct. He gets
but
one.
I literally cannot remove your characters from, or mostly can't remove your characters from the table. So
that is true.
quite
You're right.
potent.
That is interesting. Yeah, I had not considered that initially. But yes, he's +2/+2 right now.
I still hit the 3-drop with Validus in front of him.
Yep. And the problem is, I'm starting to get lower on life, especially after however this attack resolves. So if I reinforce, I'm taking so much of my firepower off the table. But if I don't reinforce, I'm taking 8 damage and giving you 3 life back. And I'm not too keen on that either. I think I have to do it this way. So I'm going to give you 3 life. Actually, maybe I don't have to. I don't do that yet. Instead, I'm going to play. I do have another Brothers in Arms. I will exhaust 4 cost to give myself +8 attack, which is exactly 11. And then I still give you the 3 life because I need to. It soaks a little more damage on my end, and I need to do that.
But then I lose 5 for the counterspell.
Yeah. And I still take 8. Which puts me at 18. And you take a ton.
More.
You take a ton.
Initiative will be nice.
Yeah. It is 12.
I'll take 12.
Boy. I'm starting to get bored, but you are really, really... You whittled down my life pretty heartily.
I think... Gosh. So, Validus' stats are straight up better than my 2-drops, regardless of circumstance. However, you are less capable of targeting my tier. You don't have as much as that power in your deck any longer. But I think I must keep Validus. You served me well.
It's
Ms.
tough. It's
Empress.
an interesting position. Got some really small characters
But
here.
now I'm on curve and I don't want to be.
Yeah. This card could be deceptively useful. We'll see. So clever. Oh, I like the changes. I like them. Not loving how this turn is going to go though, because you have initiative. I just need to not die. Goal this turn. No dying for me. Me is the one who not want to die.
That's hilarious. This is going to be an interesting spectacle.
Yep. That is a statement with which I agree.
I'm going to boost mono.
Boosted mono. You don't see him every day boosted.
Is that right? No, that's too few resource points. I'm just going to play mono. That's right.
That's terrifying.
Mono's
Not
power is the same as
boosted
Validus, and
mono.
I am not taking advantage of his boost.
Okay.
I'm also going to recruit
You got 2 more points.
Mr. Venge. His turn is not going to go the way you think.
Okay.
6. Okay.
Are you formed?
Yes. I don't know if it's going to win, but it's going to be cool.
So I have a very, very strange choice. Do I play a bigger character or a smaller character? And against almost any deck, that'd be a no-brainer. Your characters are bigger against bigger characters, and I take more damage from Mr. Venge from bigger characters. What do I do? So I think I'm gonna go for the bigger character, which is not on curve actually. It is a 5-drop. I'm gonna recruit Our Man 3, or Our Man the Third, one of those. The identity Our Man. He is a 7/7 5-drop, but he can get +4/+4 for 1 attack if I give you 3 life, just like the other one. So for my formation, we're probably gonna do. How bizarre do I get with this? Could be pretty damn bizarre. Could be pretty damn bizarre. Might be like. Who are you gonna want to go for? You probably do want to pull some attack from the tail. I just gotta survive. You've got initiative. I'm gonna take so much damage from something. But what? What are you doing over there? I've only got 18 life.
Probably something disastrous, but I'm really going to enjoy it.
What are you gonna do? You don't actually have much in the way of stat bump when attacking up the chain at the moment. The biggest concern I have is Mr. Venge, so that suggests I do leave my smaller cost characters in the front and hope you don't have a way to get flight, which there's no guarantee of. So, on the off chance you have a means of getting flight, I'll save my smaller character for reinforcement purposes. Is that true? But you would do that, which then means I would have to do that. We'll form like this. Nah.
As an additional cost to play 5 against 1, discard a future foe's character card. Target character gets -3 defense while defending this turn and cannot reinforce other characters this turn.
Oh, that's interesting.
I will choose this guy.
So -3 defense while defending.
-3 defense.
-3 defense
while
for the
defending.
turn. And cannot reinforce characters this turn. Okay.
Let's see if it works. Mr. Terrific attacks
Whoa.
Atom Smasher.
You
I
also
play
have
both of my
in
brothers
arms.
in arms.
Attacks Atom Smasher. Whoa.
21.
Damn, son. That's real silly. Huh. That's a nutty play. 21? What? Mr. Terrific. You don't see two brothers in arms coming.
No. It's kind of like 3 hours.
Right. So,
Or
how
whatever it
much
is.
damage am I looking at? I'm looking at 19 damage at the moment. Enough to kill me.
It's 18 damage, right? That's the math I see.
21. Oh, yeah.
yeah.
So I'm going to activate to put a counter on him. Which doesn't stop it yet because you have Mr. Venge to kill me by recovering my 1 drop. Which is the stupidest thing ever.
Oh, I'm so happy. I don't think this is gonna go my way.
I
but I'm
mean-
so glad I was able to make that play.
I don't really know what to say. So I'm gonna play. I have to do some shenanigans. And I think I'm gonna be able to. But it's if I did not have this card, I would have lost. But I have this card. Choose an identity. Characters you control gain the chosen identity this turn. And I'm going to have Atom Smasher gain the identity Our Man. And if it's in my resource row, I may draw a card. And then, using his power, I'm going to power up my guy, which is 1, 2. And so, for the time being, that means I'm not dead. I have two life.
Right. It's double power up? Why is it 2?
It is +1 +2. It is plus...
Oh, you have a...
Because
you have a
his
ally
ally power is an additional +1 defense. So...
Sure. Now just don't stun anyone. Oh, and I am stunned.
Ha! Actually, that might matter. That's 1 less defense you get. It sure is too bad that I don't think I can do anything at all. Boy, that's weird. What?
Oh, I love it. That was great.
There's so many cool things I was gonna do, and now I don't think I can do any of them because I have 2 life. What on earth? And he's -3 defense at all times.
While defending for the turn.
While defending
Yes.
for the turn.
Sorry I did that.
No,
But
that's
I'm so not sorry I did
that's
that.
awful. You're a bad man. So here's the thing. I have to do something this turn.
Maybe.
I mean, even with me having
I
initiative
can't
next
kill
turn.
you.
This is absurd. Because even if let's imagine a world where I pass and play something utterly brilliant next turn.
Sure.
25 life deficit? That's going to be rough to come back from. So
I have emptied my hand though.
Right, and that really matters. So now I have to ask myself, what are the odds of you having stat pump crap?
Oh,
Is there anything that I can do? Why did it have to be 2 life?
The theory is you maybe can safely get like mono?
Right, like that's
Just
the
to
question.
act.
Right,
Gotcha,
like
gotcha.
your whole team is exhausted. So okay, let's play this silly little dance, which is if I
You can
attack
also
you-
hit Venge, right? And that takes...
I do not have a character of lesser cost.
Oh,
You
fantastic.
stunned him.
That's great. Oh, it worked out even better. That wasn't part of my plan, but it is now.
Your 1-drop attacked my 1-drop for 20 damage. 21 damage.
Oh God, what a play!
It's not.
This is a great night. We're having a good night of cards.
The middle game wasn't so hot.
Yeah, the
but
middle game was
the
terrible.
first game was very good, and
Jeez.
this one is something else.
I'm
I'm really wrestling with it. So let me think. How can I?
I mean, I don't see anything that's not super risky. Honestly,
I know.
I don't know what you have.
I don't
but,
either.
like you're in spitting distance everywhere.
So then the only. All right. So I will say this.
I guess Our Man,
Yep.
but not a lot.
Well, like, so our man can get mono. Probably. I'm ahead of you by 3-3.
Is
If
that
nothing
right?
else
is
changes.
4/4 is his power?
Yeah, they both get +4 for 3. But I'd have to give you 3 life to do it. It'd be worth it if I was confident. So what are the odds of you getting 3 attack on defense? Well, ain't nothing. It's so stupid. And I can't get stunned by anyone. Which is also stupid. With your whole team is exhausted. You get a piddling 2-drop over there. I've got 5 ready characters and easily like 30 attack on the board. Do I have to pass?
Well, I don't think you. I am almost positive. If you try to fight through me, you lose. If you try to take advantage of your 30 attack, that's a losing gambit. I haven't run the math, but it doesn't seem good.
So can I get any advantage? I don't think so. I think I have
So
to pass.
the advantage is
That's
that one
stupid.
attack that you identify.
How many cards are in your hand?
None.
So maybe you won't even have a drop next turn?
It's possible.
Man. All right, I'm going to pass. It's awful. I think it's my best bet, and that's dumb.
I'm going to recover Atom Smasher.
You don't have an Atom Smasher. Oh, yeah, I Atom Smasher.
Aiming for 1.
Now, wait a minute. Oh, yeah, I guess you can do it in the recovery phase. Yeah, you wait till we're in the recovery phase to do it. Is that combat phase specific?
I don't think so. It's just...
Actually, it doesn't matter because I pass, then you
Yeah.
recover and pass. So, yes, that's legit. I'm at 1.
That was amazing.
I don't know what to say.
I hope you don't feel cheated by that. It was so,
It was pretty
I
amazing.
couldn't not do that.
No. It was amazing. I am... I'm not frustrated or angry, but I'm something. I'm having feelings, Ian. I can't be too angry because that was ridiculous. Oh man, now I need to make another weird choice. Do that. So, right. I'm going to give Atom Smasher a T-Spheres. I'm going to give Rex Tyler some T-Spheres.
Uh-oh.
And then...
Uh-oh.
Wait, is that free recruitment?
I'm almost certain.
And then I'm
I lost,
going to
but
recruit Alan Scott Sentinel.
Really, I did win this game. Oh god, and you have a 7-drop? Oh boy.
I've got a big turn,
Super
but I have
bad.
1 life. His power is going to be really novel. We said at the start, what is this game actually going to be? And we speculated it would be the game of who had the smallest characters the latest into the game. Alan Scott's power is at the start of the combat phase. If you have played no plot twists this turn, you may have JSA characters you control get +3/+3 while in combat with characters of greater cost this turn. And if you do that, you can't play plot twists this turn.
Interesting.
And I'm not yet sure if that's something I'm going to want to do or not.
I'm going to recruit Mr. Terrific.
God dang it. Mr. Terrific.
You have so much attack. I can't imagine this going my way.
Yeah.
But
It sure seems like an outcome that could be an outcome that we have.
I actually need to hide Mr. Venge. That's funny.
That is a thing. So, Yeah, that's true. That's what you need to do. So, see, stuff's going to start happening. Stuff is going to start happening. So I am going to fire Alan Scott's power.
Okay. So your dudes are incredibly huge.
They're incredibly huge. When attacking up the chain only. I think my opening attack... You don't have flight on the board still. What does that mean? You're going to be able to hit Alan Scott. Unless I mash your attack off the board? Is that the correct play? Do I actually just focus on eliminating your attack rather than doing cool, more exciting things? Maybe I just limit your attack. If your dudes are exhausted, they get +3/+3.
While in combat with the character.
While in combat with the character cost. Is there any way that I can see of you exhausting your characters besides Mr. Vengeance power?
No.
Okay. So then I think the correct play is Alan Scott attacks mono. Yeah. Which is kind of funny. But I find it kind of funny. I find it kind of sad. With all those powers and miscellaneous interplays, the big dude's just going to hit one of your smaller dudes. Mm-hmm. So he automatically... Well, no, he doesn't have any bonus stats yet.
Of course. My things. I don't think they're going to help. Don't think they're going to help. What's the attack?
It is as printed 16.
So I will take 10. No, I will take more. I will take 12.
You do not have the means of exhausting him.
I won't tell him.
Fair point. Fair point.
So what is left? Your dudes are quite big if I attack them with Validus.
Stupid.
They're not so big if I attack them with my concealed characters.
That's also true. Which is silly.
I wish I had more brothers in arms.
Stop that. It's funny because it wasn't actually just enough to have brothers in arms. You had to reduce his...
I also had to have Mr. Venge.
You also needed Mr. Venge. Yes, that's right. You also needed Mr. Venge. And you needed to prevent my character from behind from reinforcing. And the fact that you reduced his defense didn't matter.
Nope.
It might have mattered a little for whether or not I attacked, but, you know.
So Validus loses the exchange with the big guy and also the little guys.
Validus does not lose unless something changes against her. Because she doesn't have a T-sphere, so she's only +3/+3 added onto her 5. And her additional attack is only when attacking.
Yeah, you're right.
So
I think
I'd be 2, it would be a difference of 2.
That's risky.
It's not a guarantee, but I can't play plot twists, so I would need to do it through some other means.
Sure. Yeah, that's less risky. You're right. Thank you for reminding me of all these things. I will attack her
It matters.
with Validus.
Yep.
And now Validus is exhausted, but he's not lesser cost than anybody.
That's true. So now the question is simply, do I reinforce? Your attack is as printed. My defense is 8. It is 8. That's not terrible. So I take 4 breakthrough and 2 for the stun. Probably 2 from Mr. Venge. Yeah, I think I just eat it. And bank on me being able to punch through and deal you more. So I'm going to not reinforce at this juncture. I'll take 4 breakthrough and 2 for the stun. Do you recover for an additional 2? -5 or -7, depending.
Probably oughta. I mean, the odds of the other one working doesn't look very good. So, this will be the bench.
Right.
Like, I have a shot at something better, but not
It's
a good
It's
shot.
a gamble.
Yeah.
So I take an additional 2 at -7. So now I gotta think here a little bit, because I still have to punch through your visible dudes. I think the next play that I make... And we'll say I did this before my character was stunned and recovered, which is I target him with her power.
Okay.
Just so that you don't feel bad for recovering her without considering that.
She would have recovered anyway.
Good point. So we'll say I did it now.
Okay.
Right, no courtesy
No,
for you.
right.
And then I think Adam Smasher attacks Mr. Terrific. I am 4-4, or 1-1, 4-4,
Quite large.
7-7, 10-10.
I don't think that I can influence the outcome of this in any way. So I will take 9. This does not look like it's shaping up to be a W for me.
It was...
Without that, Mr. Terrific, I
One
have
card
to
away.
pass.
Right.
With that, Mr. Terrific, I could probably keep attacking your team.
That is hilarious. So the proper...
You have plenty attack to finish me off.
Yeah, I think the proper play is this Hour Man goes for Validus. And I give you 3 life, which is still worth it to get the punch through. So I'm at 13-13.
Okay. So I will take 8. That was 1. And what's the rest? Quite a bit. More than enough.
It's a lot, yeah. I attack with all of them. It's a lot. 15. A lot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 14. What did I say they were? 15.
That's 29.
29 is the number.
So I'm at negative 28.
The power up ones.
Negative 29.
You know, that's a funny game in a sense, because the life totals make it seem like I had a commanding lead, which I did for the turn that I survived by 2 health.
You lost that turn without a power-up.
No, I know. No, it's like...
and that's okay. I'm content with
And
that.
to be clear, I wouldn't have been able to power up if I didn't have this card, which gives this character an identity of another character, and this guy, who says...
I rather enjoy the way
I get an additional defense when powering up and can power up through identity. So I literally needed both of these cards to give myself 2 defense. Or I would have lost. And it needed to be 2, because you had Mr. Venge. So I actually didn't just need a power up.
You needed
I
2
needed
defense.
I needed 2 defense, and I happen to have a way to power up and get 2 defense exactly.
What did I do?
It was like the boss in Slay the Spire. Slay the Spire.
Which boss?
The final boss, halfway into the fight, they did a big attack on me and I was down to 2 health.
Ah, okay.
And the only way I came back in that was I cast a specific spell that hit them both for a lot of damage and gave me life back, or I would have lost that.
I feel like I did super clever stuff tonight.
You did.
I rather did. I love that. I can like...
That was an amazing attack.
Oh, if I recruit this 2 characters and make 1 attack, I win. Unless he has something,
Yep.
I'll do that.
What is Mono's boost? What was his boost? Double
Mono,
stun?
It's not relevant. No, his boost is...
Oh, that's Validus's.
Yeah, Validus is double stun. Mono's is can't ready.
Yeah, not useful in that kind.
Therox is lose defense.
Right.
Emerald Empress is a get Emerald Eye. That's it.
Yeah.
Emerald Eye does not have a boost.
Yeah, but you wanted to get Mr. Venge out because he's that extra point of damage, which meant just a power up wouldn't have been enough.
He also made you fighting through me worse.
Yeah, you're right.
I needed him to be the
He's
you
an
can
additional threat.
you can go for my dudes, but it'll probably cost you an extra 6 life
Right.
more than your
Right,
counter.
no, you're
or
right.
whatever,
That makes
5
it
life or whatever.
much less efficient. Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point. Man. Yeah, the middle game was mediocre at best, but the first and last games were.
No, the
I
Metal
think-
Gear was terrible. You're right. The Metal Gear was terrible.
Yeah, I think the.
This one was awesome, and the first one was awesome.
I think the last time we played 2 weeks ago, I think we had some good games then too. I think we're back to having some really good cards. We had a slump for a while.
Well, this was another. We started early that week. I remember,
Yeah.
and we also only played 3 games. And
I think we only
took the whole
played
night.
2 games. I think we played 2
Yeah.
games.
And this was another. We started way early. We played 3 games, and now it's way late.
Yeah, I think last time we only played 2. You watch. I think we played 2 games, and they
We
were
did
both-
chat a lot both times, but still.
Well,
like,
sure.
we probably had an extra 30 minutes compared to our normal schedule, and still fit in just the 3 games.
That's nutty.
Between 30 minutes and an hour.
Yeah.
Well, we should say
GG.
goodbye. It's quite late. Chris is probably not still with us, or
Yeah.
anybody really.
If anybody's
but,
still around,
yeah, it was
thank
amazing
you for
games.
sticking.
Thanks for checking them out, and we'll see you in 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
I might even put a date on that. That might make it easier. Nobody listens to this anyway. In 2 weeks, late February.
There you go.
Good night,
Hey,
all.
take care, Chris. Thanks for sticking.
Oh, he was still here.